What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait, I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Welcome, Daddy's home. Somebody turn on Usher. Daddy's home. That's right. I'm home. Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 695. 5 episodes away from 700 for those who can't count. My name is David Gokshin. I am the host of the Breakdown. That's right. I am the host of the Breakdown. Well, yeah, finally. I have this beeping noise from one of my alarm systems that will not go off, and it has been terrorizing me today. And then I couldn't get on here. I don't know what the hell was going on with my restream, but that was on my side. Maybe it's my tech. It is what it is. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Okay, I really do hope that you guys had a wonderful weekend. No, it's not the smoke detector. It's the motion sensor, man. It is driving me fucking crazy, man. I hate sounds, man. I really do hate sounds. So it's absolutely driving me crazy. But let's go ahead and give a shout out to our main title sponsor, Midnight. Shout out to Midnight. I see Charles is all over. Charles is all over the goddamn fucking social media timeline, at least mine. And there are people from Cardano that are absolutely angry that do not understand that Cardano benefits from having Midnight. Okay? I don't know why you guys can't see it. You're very short-sighted, but long-term, the benefit of having Midnight, which is essentially an extension of Cardano, it actually is a good thing. It's a great thing. And I'm not just saying that because they're the title sponsor. I'm just telling you, whether they were or were not, that it's a good thing. That is a phenomenal thing, okay? So, one second, man. I swear to God, everybody decides to start doing landscaping now. Jesus Christ. Like, does everybody wait until 12 to start doing shit? Let's also give a shout out to Polymarket. Polymarket is the official prediction market sponsor of the DG brand and the Gokhshtein brand as well, the Gokhshtein Media. Actually, no, it's the DG brand, personal brand, and also the sponsor of the breakdown. See, this shit got me all fucking wound up. Also, it's not cold in New York, at least not for us. Oh, come on. So my dogs go fucking nuts. Anyway, also, shout out to Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet, phenomenal, secure wallet. Okay. Secure wallet, one of the securest wallets in our industry. So shout out to Vic. We'll have him on this month. Also, People's Reserve. We'll talk about People's Reserve during the program, but shout out to People's Reserve being one of the sponsors on this program, and we have much more. Also, guys, listen. Let me go ahead and throw this up here. Give me a second. Let me throw this up here before we get started with the show. Where the hell is it? Okay, there it goes. There it goes. There you go. There's the new website, the DG website, my website. There's the new website. If you want to get in contact with me, okay? If you want to get in contact with me, this is where you go. Where the fuck is it? This is where you go. That's right. There you go. Over 2 million followers all across all my social media platforms. Okay? You come right on here. You come right here. I know I'm hot. Somebody just said I'm hot in the chat. I know I'm hot. Okay? I'm out here. Been out here. Okay? You can read my entire bio here. Okay, you get to read the entire bio. Hold on, I think this has been updated though. This should have been updated. But you can come on here. Okay, and if you want to go ahead and touch base with me, okay? You want to touch base with me? You want to get in contact with me? Get in contact. Just get in contact with me. That's it. Just get in contact. You click that button, you get in contact. What the fuck is going on? It should have, hold on, it should have fucking popped out. What the fuck is going on? Anyway, when you go onto the site, you can click it and it pops up. So there you go, the DavidGokhshtein.com website. Okay, and then you can also read the Gokhshtein report. You sign up for that. And then Gokhshtein.com is coming. Okay, Gokhshtein.com is coming. Okay, it is coming. And it's going to be fucking phenomenal. The Gokhshtein Media brand is going to be absolutely electrifying. I got a lot of shit in store. Okay, so there you go. And does your brand belong here? Does your brand belong here? If you are building a brand out here, if you're building a brand out here, you want to build it with me. Anyway, let's go ahead and stop sharing. Let's get back to the program. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am back. Who is this? Who is this fucking troll in my fucking comments? Anyway. Let's bring Landy in because we're going to talk about the markets, right? Well, I already did my whole spiel, right? We'll talk to Landy here for a few minutes about the markets and what's going on. Landy, good morning to you.
Hey, how you doing, David?
I'm doing great.
That's great.
I'm doing phenomenal.
Great. How phenomenal is phenomenal?
It's phenomenal. I'm doing great.
That's great.
No, it's just like everybody decided to come, like every single company decided to come right now to do whatever they need to go ahead and do to the goddamn properties. Like they had to come now. Not later. They had to come now.
No, at lunchtime. That's when everybody starts work now. Right at lunchtime.
Unbelievable, man. Anyway, how's everything? How's the markets looking here?
I mean, Bitcoin's doing what Bitcoin does. It's just kind of playing the range. I mentioned last time that we spoke that, above 65, it's looking good to stay in the range and maybe even test the top side. As it stands right now, Bitcoin is trading at right around $70,000 near the top side of the range, which is around 72. It's 70 to 72 essentially. It's more like for spot price, it's more around 70,500 to 72.2, but we have broken the downtrend as of today. If we close anywhere above around 69,300, and I can always share this if you want, but it's pretty simple right now for Bitcoin. As long as it's holding around $65,000, that kind of holds off testing the low side of the range, and potentially that low, which is going to be the actual $60,000 low. We are seeing some promising things in terms of momentum indicators and maybe even potentially some bullish divergence that could form. But the big thing to watch for today, in today's session at least, is that we're looking to see if we can actually close this downtrend break and break this downtrending structure. I'm not using this as a horizontal support and resistance or anything like that. It's more of just showing or illustrating that this is a downtrend, looking to break it. Where would this downtrend break? Pretty simply, that's above the last lower high, and that's at that 69.3. So if we do see it close above there, we'd get a closing downtrend break. We're already pushing the top side of the range here, and that's where things get interesting. This would also be coming off of higher low structure. So we have a trend reversal setup that did confirm with yesterday's close, the Sunday close. And now getting a trend break. So a trend reversal to trend break typically means that we're going to, test the highs. We've already seen, the high side of the range already start to get tested around 70,000. But if we start seeing it trade above the highs here and this upper second, which is kind of in line with all the highs here and the local highs over here from the last move down, then I would be looking for, any kind of closes, especially above 72, to start looking up to the top side deviation here around 74. So anywhere between 72 to 74. And then if we start closing above 74, I'd be looking for expansion into the high at 76 and potentially targeting 78 to 80 up here. So that would be kind of the conditions. Is you need to see a close that breaks the downtrend at 69.3 and then starts to close out the top side of this tighter range here at 72 to start looking at those highs again, 74 to 76 and then 78 to 80. And this is all really going to be based on the condition of closing above, 65 and realistically even 62 and a half. But I would say that you don't really want to see expansion back to the lows because that would start to open the door for the actual low down here at 58 to 60 as kind of a zone. And then if that area is hit, then we have to start entertaining further trips down to the mid to low 50s and potentially even upper 40s to 50s. Right now, above 65, good. Below it, not so good. The other big thing that I've been talking about, watching very closely, and that I did want to bring this up is we have a bit of a premium on U.S. oil now. And I had said, anywhere above, 98 to 102 and a half, with the inflection point being 90 to 95. So as long as U.S. oil is above 90 to 95, and for those that do keep track of this is WTI. We have to entertain moves back to the macro overhead resistance here. We've got 102 and a half. I was looking for 105 to 110, then 110 to 115. We have now seen that play out right to the overhead resistance. If we do start to see it break out, I'd look back to the highs at 120 and then potentially even up to 130. If we start to break above there, I'd be looking 140 to 150. Now, what we have going on is a fractured market. We have U.S. oil trading above Brent oil right now. Why? Because U.S. oil is in demand. This tells you that for those countries that needed oil that cannot get it from the Middle East, where are they going? They're going to the world's top producer of oil. That is, of course, the United States, being the number one producer of oil and natural gas. And we are seeing that natural gas, although relatively low, is getting bid off of an area around the upper 270 region. I would keep a close eye on both U.S. oil and natural gas. And what we'll start to see is that this will continue to increase in terms of demand. Now, production is also increasing, and importing of oil from Canada and Venezuela is also picking up, despite Canada kind of putting up a fight and putting on their big boy britches and trying to talk tough with the United States regarding many different things. They are still exporting their oil to the United States. We actually export it. They export it, we refine it, and then export it right back to them. But in some cases, if there is a premium, it can get exported elsewhere. I don't know if that's necessarily going to happen, but we know that Japan is already getting shipments of oil out of Alaska. There are other countries that are coming to the United States, applying that bid that is applying that upward pressure on oil in the United States, which is now giving U.S. oil a premium over Brent. I do think that's going to be temporary, though. And this is, we live in weird times now. We haven't seen this fractured of an oil market before. But with the U.S. being one of the top producers, we do need to keep a close eye on it, because when oil is strong, typically we see follow through with Dixie. This makes sense. Trade into the dollar. But one of the things that I would keep an eye on is when oil does come down, because it will. When it goes up, must come down. When it does come down, regardless of how high it goes, which maybe 115 is kind of the limits there, but if it does continue to push a little bit higher, and then come back down, watch Dixie on the lows, 99.30 to around 98.90, because if that starts to fall, that would be good for markets in terms of getting some more upside moves. One of the things that we are also seeing right now is a bit of a risk on move, because I think the market is starting to understand what the trade actually is. And it makes sense to bid some of the areas for traditional markets that we are seeing getting bid. It also helps that oil went up to a resistance level and rejected early in the session today. So we'll see if that maintains through the rest of this week. And that's, of course, good for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, seeing a bit of a risk rotation, meaning in this case, a little bit more risk on. We're even seeing a little bit of a move out of bonds and out of Dixie into risk on. So that's actually kind of business as usual and what we've been used to over time. So I think the market's starting to come around to what's happening with oil prices being fractured globally.
I feel like I'm bullish on the markets right now. I don't know. I don't know what it is. By the way, and I'm going to talk about this later in the show about what Donald Trump tweeted out. I'll read it to you guys exactly. For those who missed it, Trump made a tweet. What the fuck is it?
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll read it out. Trump yesterday, if you woke up, I guess it was in the early morning. Trump said Tuesday, and this was yesterday, said Tuesday will be a power plant day, a bridge day, and all wrapped in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking straight, or you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. Okay, look, honestly, I first I thought it was fake. I thought somebody
Yeah.
just wrote that out. Then I'm then I look, I'm like, I started laughing. I really did. I started laughing.
Yeah.
I think you know what it is. There were so many emotions that went through me. Like, how do you respond to this kind of thing? Like, what do I think about that? At first, it was like, man, damn, man, somebody take away his phone. But then I'm like, at the end of the day, like,
It's not meant for
I
us.
grew up in New York City.
Yeah.
This is something that people say on the sidewalks. So I'm like, why am I so taken back by him saying this? That's what I'm not trying. I'm not doing PR for Trump. All I'm saying is, I wasn't so taken back after a while thinking about it and processing. I'm like, this is who he is. He's a New Yorker. Maybe I'm just used to it. I'm from the Northeast. This is how people speak. And like, he's tired of the shit. He's tired of everything that's going on in Iran. And he sounds like he's ready to drop a nuclear weapon on their asses. It's like he's just in that mode. And I wouldn't fuck with him. Like, I really do believe, this is my honest opinion. And maybe I think it sparks some confidence in people. I think he's at this point where, like, yo, honestly, if you motherfuckers don't make a deal, I'm dropping a fucking nuke on you. And I really believe he'll do it. And they ain't nobody gonna do shit about it either. I believe, I honestly, that those are my thoughts. What, listen, what do I want nukes to be dropped? No, but I feel like he's in
I
that
don't
mode
think
right
there will
now.
be. I would doubt that is even
I'm-
the implication.
But you know what it is? I'm thinking that he just wants to go absolutely nuclear on these motherfuckers on Tuesday. Like, he is tired of looking like,
Metaphorically. Yeah.
he doesn't like people talking bad about him. Something like that would make people shut the fuck up. Like, I sat back and I thought about this. You imagine, like, all these. First of all, by the way, you disgusting Democrats, not everybody, but those crazy, deranged left wingers who are being paid by Soros, going out there and trying to imply, like, those twins, by the way, Ed and Brian, you guys are retarded. Okay, there, I said it. You are retarded. Going out there and saying that Trump's in the hospital, he hasn't been seen. Shut the fuck up already. If nobody's told you just shut the fuck up today, I did. Shut the fuck up. I didn't like Biden's policies. I wasn't out here wishing that something happened to Biden.
Well,
Daddy's home.
That's not
Daddy's
the same
home,
standard.
bitches.
They don't. The standard is not the same on the left. The standard is it shifts with the wind, right? Because they don't really have values or principles that they abide by themselves. So why, they apply very fixed rules for everyone else that they do not need to follow, right? But in this case, I think what is really amazing, and that is something that should be celebrated, is the successful rescue of not only the pilot but the weapon systems operator, or the Wizzo, from the downed F-15E. And what a story that is going to make when it finally comes to the big screen, because that that's going to be a movie at some point. And no U.S. casualties during that time frame. There was some injuries, and of course, they're willing to sacrifice equipment. Like, there's a lot of people who, now that we have the tools to kind of like get information very quickly, whether it be true or not, when we do have verified info like that comes out and is finally discussed, and the details of what happened are kind of amazing to a lot of people. A lot of people don't realize that the U.S. military has a policy of no man left behind, and this is something that seemed to really upset the left as they were going about this narrative of, Trump not being seen. And obviously, what he was doing was tracking the situation, him, Hegseth, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and that kind of stuff. And it was fairly obvious that with this type of a situation, that you wouldn't want the president in Mar-a-Lago, right? Like that's something maybe Biden would have done, is just leave and let everybody else handle it. Well, wait, that's right. We have an example of that, and it's when we pulled out of Afghanistan. Oh,
And
that disaster.
which was a disaster.
Yeah. And I think that you know, for anybody that's been in the military, they understand what was going on. And that is a really good show of leadership, and monitoring the situation. And when you have special presidential directives to go and really mobilize anything they needed to mobilize in order to get him out, and to safety, I think that it's pretty amazing, and I can't
It
wait to
is.
hear more details about that particular story. And for all of the people that are like, "Oh my god," there's this narrative, this like pervasive narrative that somehow Iran is winning. I'm sorry, when you don't have a navy, you don't have an air force, and you are literally down to drone launches that are sporadic and declining, and missile launches that are sporadic and declining, and that is really it. You don't you're not winning, right? They're surviving and trying to hide at this point and get off whatever they possibly can, utilizing the intelligence that they're receiving from Russia and China and any kind of equipment that can be smuggled in. But there's something I think that's interesting that people don't seem to understand here in the States. That there are many people that are either, well, former military at this point, that might be on TV. We call them the TV generals. They're usually out there with a political agenda. But then there's also a lot of veterans who actually are on social media trying to educate people. And one of the things that I found really to be a really good conversation, because a lot of people are like, well, if we have air superiority there, how is it that there are planes getting hit, right? And why is there still launches and stuff like that? Well, air superiority is, and I think we're somewhere in between what you might call air superiority and air dominance, and those are actually specific terms. And that's where you have the ability to um, fly over a country, or in this case, specific parts of the country, uh, really with impunity. And we kind of saw that with the search and rescue mission, in some of the footage that was coming out. But it's not necessarily complete air dominance or air supremacy. That's more regional and localized in areas of Iran, whereas there's more air superiority in others, because they do have the ability to launch specific types of air defense systems, whether they're handheld air defense systems, or there's still sporadic areas of you know some of the larger Russian systems and Chinese systems that are probably still out there, where they still have, the US and Israel have superiority, but not necessarily air supremacy in those areas. I think that in most of it, we have air dominance and air supremacy, but in certain areas, there are going to be replenishments and ways for them to get things in. But I think the operation, from a military tactical point of view, the United States is crushing anything that they come across, right? And that's to the point where they literally set up a forward operating base inside of Iran in order to go and get this guy. It's wild stuff. I can't
Yeah.
wait for this to actually come out. But yet you have the president working and his staff working, and the left spinning tall tales about him being at Walter Reed. And even at one point, I saw one of them floating that not only was Trump incapacitated, but so was Hegseth. And it's like, and people, these are getting millions and millions of interactions. I don't understand it. How? Who's
Yeah.
sucking this crap up?
It's just honestly, it's watching everything over the weekend, uh, I gotta say, like, there are a lot of people that just, a lot of people just hate this country. And they'll do, and they try to profit off of, it's not even, besides hating this country, they're trying to profit off of this war through obviously engagement, likes, and retweets. So post the most, post things like Trump is currently in the hospital, he's not been seen or heard from. That's going to get more likes and retweets than something that's obviously truthful. So it is what it is. I don't know. I from everything that I've read from, people that I respect, they're saying that we're winning in Iran. And I do believe that that is the case. Will we have casualties? Yeah. Will we have, planes that go? By the way, I love how people were trying to come up with, well, the United States of America really didn't go ahead and blow up their own, their own helicopters and shit like that. Yeah, they do. They're gonna leave it for Iran's fucking army to go ahead and take apart and shit. They're gonna blow it up if the shit's not working. What the fuck you talking about? What are you guys talking about? Honestly, I don't know how anybody's voting for a Democrat. I really, honestly, the only reason you're voting for a Democrat is because you just do not like Donald Trump. And that is only because you have been absolutely brainwashed to not like this man. That is it. There is no reason why you would not like Donald Trump. There's no reason. Could you be taken back by the way that he speaks, the way that he tweets? I can see it. But not to like a man that is putting America first, I have no clue. You want to make up this whole fucking story about Israel pushing them into a war? It's bullshit. Go rewind the tapes. He's been talking about it for 40 years. He's just delivering on it right now because he's in office. He's in office. He has the power to do so. And he has the balls. The balls, unlike any other fucking president, to go out there and do it. That's it. That's what it comes down to. That is it. Everything else that you see on social media, where people are trying to put together this narrative that Israel pushed the United States of America to go ahead and do this, nobody's pushing Trump around. I'm going to tell you that right now. Nobody, I can stand on this and I can bet on this. There ain't nobody that's going to push Trump around. You're not pushing Donald Trump around. This man's ego, this is what I voted for. His ego, all-time high. There is not a person on this planet that has a bigger ego than him. If you think that he is going to be somebody else's bitch, you are mistaken. You have not followed his career. He is not going to walk to the tune of anybody else except his own. I'm telling you that right now. He don't give a shit what Israel got to say. He's going to do things the way he sees them. He's going to do things by the way his intelligence presents the story to him. Factual stories. That's it. That is Donald Trump. Whether you like him or not, this is a man, this is a president that has the balls to take on a fucking terroristic fucking regime that has been fucking with this entire planet for 4 decades. He don't give a shit about what Israel got to say about this. He cares about defending the United States of America and protecting the people that are here. You think he doesn't understand the implications of him going and doing this operation, that it could take a hit on the stock market, that it could take a hit on the economy? You think he doesn't understand these things? Here's a president that has come into office promising a healthy economy, which he has delivered on that. We have taken just a little pause here with this operation in Iran, but everything was heading in the right direction. If you think that he's going to listen to Israel versus looking at his own resume to go out as one of the greatest presidents of all time, you are absolutely in need of therapy. You need to start blocking the people that you're listening to. Start learning more about Trump. Don't learn about Trump through me, through fucking liberal media. Go do your own research on Trump. And you will see this man, absolutely. His ego is through the fucking roof, and that is a great thing. That is a great thing. That's why I voted for him. Common sense, all that. Stop. Stop it already. Welcome to the breakdown.
You know, it's funny,
I'm
David.
sorry, I had to say that shit, man. I'm fucking so tired of hearing Israel, Israel, Israel. Bro,
I mean,
Israel, no country is gonna force his hand. Not a single country is gonna force Trump's hand. I'm telling you that right now. Not a single person on this planet is gonna force his hand.
no. And
He's not doing this because of fucking Kushner either, okay? Because Kushner, I saw this on the timeline. Kushner and Bibi, they were always together. He doesn't give a fuck. He'll
does his own
fire
thing.
Kushner.
I mean, look, this has been very obvious what the lead up was going to be, and I actually had people argue with me that there was no connection between what the operations in Venezuela and South America and Iran. And I'm like, "Yeah, if you can't see it, then why are you talking about anything in geopolitics or macroeconomics?" Because the big thing to understand is, what did Trump do when he first got back in office? He immediately signed executive orders focused on increasing the energy production here in the United States. And one thing, I think I said this to you here, is a lot of people don't realize that although Biden drained the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, he did not cut he did not reverse, he stalled the energy agenda that Trump put into place, which means that, what he did is he killed off the future build out of the energy
Correct.
infrastructure, but he did not reverse it. Right? You had states that were working on reversing it, but from the federal government's point of view, he maintained the output of the United States, where Trump essentially had it in terms of oil and natural gas production. But what he did is he exported the majority of it through contracts, which then raised gas prices while we were also getting, hammered with inflation. So what a lot of people don't understand is that was an economic agenda, was to export, not to keep that oil at home. It was to export it to other countries. And then, of course, with the 2022 into 2023 war in Ukraine really ramping up, that began even more obviously with LNG and oil exports, and other types of deals. And that kept prices fairly high for gas here. But when Trump came back into office, what he did is he reinstituted the policy of building out and the energy production infrastructure here in the United States. Although we didn't break a lot of new ground with drilling, we didn't even necessarily need to do that. That takes a long time. You got to go and survey. You've got to get different permits, and you got to go to different areas and work with states in order to facilitate new wells. Although we have seen a lot go up after Trump came back into office because of regulations being lifted in states that were already very friendly to this, Alaska, Texas being big ones. But the energy production here in the United States for oil and natural gas really increased exponentially right after Trump came into office and undid some of the executive orders holding back energy production here in the United States from that aspect of things, and then started to reinstitute his plan to continue to build out the oil and gas infrastructure here, as well as start to push forward the nuclear energy infrastructure here in the United States. That was the very first thing he did, even before starting to implement tariffs, right? So
Yeah.
this is not willy-nilly. He's stupid. He doesn't know what he's doing. And for anybody on the left that thinks that Trump is stupid, go ahead, keep thinking that. because every time you say it, every time you think that way, you're strategically going to put yourself in a position where you will always lose. So keep saying it, keep doing it, keep thinking that he has no idea what he's doing. Because what did he do? It was tariffs and then immediately go and start negotiating with Iran, right? And through that negotiation process in mid 2025 through the end of summer into early fall of 2025, before negotiations really started to break down, what did Trump do in the meantime? Well, we had our entire military infrastructure and economic team start to target South America, specifically Venezuela. We went and parked an armada outside their doorstep and started hammering all of the drug boats that come in and out of there, and then went in and snatched Maduro. And actually, remember when we snatched Maduro and it was all doom and gloom? We were going to have troops on the ground. It was going to be a huge war. China and Russia were going to come in and they were going to start defending Venezuela, and we were going to start World War III. Remember all that?
Yeah.
Oh, and then now what's going on? Wait, oh, that's right. The Venezuelan people are actually becoming prosperous again because they're doing deals with the United States, utilizing a lot of that energy that they were exporting on the cheap to countries like Iran, Russia, China, as well as harboring IRGC and terrorist training cells there, taking in chemicals from China to allow for drug production in South America, which was facilitating and making all of the cartels rich and allowing for them to take over various countries and literally change the landscape of South America, as well as political, monetary, and defense between all three nations, meaning Russia, China, and Iran, all getting heavily involved in Venezuela. What did Trump say? He didn't even mention any of that stuff. He's like, nah, we're just going to take the oil. But the knockoff effect was he's not going to lie to you. He's going to do deals for oil. But it also took out a large base of operations for Iran. It took out economic and military and political pull here on the Western Hemisphere from China and Russia. It allowed for it allowed for the United States to start cutting off the shadow fleet, which was all targeting what? Oil and gas. And then what did we do right after that? Oh, that's right. We went and we parked an armada right outside of Iran. If anybody's thinking that somehow, in some way, that it was Bibi that came up with all of this and influenced Trump to go through all of these steps from the moment that he came into office and implement all of these plans throughout his administration, just to go in and then have Bibi force his hand to actually take action. No, if anything, the only thing that Bibi did was let him know, like, hey, they're all together right now. We have intel, we've got Mossad on the ground, and that's normal sharing of operations. And then when you go, oh, hey, they're all there, let's take them all out and start decapitating the regime. And Trump even mentioned it today. What is this? This is basically decapitation of a regime and regime change via killing multiple levels. And they even while the United States was rescuing a Wizzo in one of, probably, I hope is going to make it for a great movie. Definitely some great books coming out of it, but likely one of the greatest special operations um, rescues of somebody stuck behind enemy lines with no casualties. While that was going on, the U.S. and Israel struck and killed another 40 leaders.
It's
And
crazy.
then
It's crazy
and
how they take them out. By the
yeah,
way, Trump is speaking right now.
he
I think we
is.
should
Yeah,
go to that.
that's good.
Let's go to Trump speaking right now. By the way, I was laughing because I was reading some of the things that Trump was saying with the kids. Let's go ahead. Let's go to Trump right now. Give me a second. Give me a second. We'll go right to Trump. You hear that or no?
I do not know. I did. Somebody DM'd me. 'cause
well at a
people-
level that nobody's
There we
ever
go.
seen before. The entire country can be taken out in one night, and that night might be tomorrow night. Both members of the crew ejected from the aircraft and landed alive. On Iranian soil, I immediately was asked to make a decision. I ordered the U.S. Armed Forces to do whatever was necessary to bring our brave warriors back home. A risky decision, because we could have ended up with 100 dead as opposed to 1 or 2. It's a hard decision to make. But in the United States military, we leave no American behind. We don't do it. Within hours, our armed forces deployed 21 military aircraft into hostile airspace, many flying at very low altitude, being shot by bullets. You bring rifles into play when you're going that low, but there are also certain advantages. And in broad daylight over Iran for 7 hours, at times facing very, very heavy enemy fire. We have a helicopter that's got a lot of bullets in it. It's amazing. We just realized how good those weapons are. Our machines are. Nobody has the equipment that we have, and nobody has the military that we have. Not even close. We're the most powerful military anywhere in the world by far. The flight crews and warfighters aboard those aircraft took extraordinary risks to rescue their fellow service members. This first wave of search and rescue forces successfully located the pilot of the F-15, and he was extracted from enemy territory by an HH-60 Jolly Green II helicopter. Fabulous machine as our warriors faced gunfire at very close range. It's amazing that when you look at the machinery, what happened, that nobody was even injured. Meanwhile, the second crew member, a weapons system officer, highly respected colonel, had landed a significant distance away from the pilot. When you're going at those speeds, even if you go out 2 or 3 seconds later, it's miles and miles away because you're going fast. He was injured quite badly and stranded in an area teeming with terrorists from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps rough group, as well as besieged militia and local authorities. Many, on top of everything else, they told the communities actually within side of Iran, the people of Iran, they were given a tremendous incentive to find this pilot. Despite the peril, the officer followed his training and climbed into the treacherous mountain terrain and started climbing toward a higher altitude, something they were trained to do in order to evade capture. They want to always go as far away from the site of the shoot down. You want to go as far away because they all head right to that site. You want to be as far away as you can. And he was injured, and he was an amazing, amazing thing. He scaled cliff faces, bleeding rather profusely, treated his own wounds, and contacted American forces to transmit his location. They have a very sophisticated beeper-type apparatus that is on them at all times. And when they go out on these missions, they make sure they have lots of battery space and they're in good shape. And this one worked really well, amazingly, saved his life. We immediately mobilized a massive operation to retrieve him from the mountain holdout, and he kept going higher and higher. The mountain kept getting rougher and rougher, and really very, very hard to find. The second rescue mission involved 155 aircraft, including 4 bombers, 64 fighters, 48 refueling tankers, 13 rescue aircraft, and more. We were bringing them all over, and a lot of it was subterfuge. We wanted to have them think he was in a different location because they had a vast military force out there. Thousands of people were looking. So we wanted them to look in different areas, so we were scattered all over like we were right on top of them. We had 7 different locations where they thought, and they were very confused. They said, well, wait a minute, they've got groups here, they've got groups there. It's an amazing thing. I was listening to these great people, these great generals. General Raisin Kane was amazing, and Pete Hegseth was amazing. But I listened to the whole thing. It was pretty amazing. So they had all these different sites where everybody thought he was located. We think we have him over there because they have 9 planes circling a little area that's 25 miles down the coast. So in a breathtaking show of skill and precision, lethality and force, America's military descended on the area, the real area, engaged the enemy, rescued the stranded officer, destroyed all threats, and exited Iranian territory while taking no casualties of any kind. The heroic F-15 weapons system officer had evaded capture on the ground in Iran for almost 48 hours. That's a long time when you're in tough shape and when you're bleeding. It's a long time. When we left, as you probably know, we had 2 large planes, pretty old planes that carried a lot. We needed a lot more equipment going in than coming out, obviously, because going in, we needed to be able to scale mountains, and we had a lot of equipment. But the sand was sandy, wet sand, so we thought there may be a problem taking off because of the weight of the plane, and then we also had all the men jumping back onto the planes, and they got pretty well bogged down, and we had a contingency plan, which was unbelievable, where lighter, faster aircraft came in, and they took them out. We blew up the old planes. We blew them up to smithereens because we had equipment on the planes that, frankly, we'd like to take, but I don't think it was worthwhile spending another 4 hours there taking it off. So we didn't want anybody to have, we have the best equipment anywhere in the world. We didn't want anybody examining our anti-aircraft and other equipment. So these were large planes that were old and pretty old, and we blew them up, and we had faster, lighter planes come in, and they were able to land on the sand. We needed the bigger planes because we had so much equipment that we needed. We took 3 helicopters over there, which were very strongly used, and couldn't have lived without them. They did, and they performed unbelievably well. And if you'd see it, you wouldn't believe it. They came off the plane, and these guys had them, the rotors were off. They rebuilt these helicopters in less than 10 minutes. And that was one of the more amazing things. These are helicopters, small, unbelievably powerful, but small, very small, so it can get into certain areas. And they got them off the plane, and they rebuilt all 3 of them in a matter of less than 10 minutes. It's pretty amazing what the genius of these people. Who would think that? You'd think it would take 5 days to build them. And in some companies, it would take 5 days, and they wouldn't do it well. But they served us well. As Commander-in-Chief, I never forget the extraordinary risk taken by the warriors that we send into battle, and the genius. I mean, think of it, having a contingency of 3 planes waiting because we think the sand is so bad that we probably won't be able to take off. And the planes really got bogged. This was not much of a runway. This was a farm, not a runway. It's a farm, but it did the trick. But to have a contingency as opposed to having to wait 2 days, can you imagine right in the middle? This was central. This was right, you would call it central casting if you were doing a movie for location. And probably the toughest area of Iran where we'd be sitting there. So these planes came in, those pilots came in so fast and so quick and got out of there. Everybody got aboard and just got 15-minute intervals. 1 load out, 1 load out, 1 load out. It happened, and we were watching, and we said, "That's amazing." In many ways, I was almost more impressed by the contingency that we had than the fact that if we would have had a runway or decent soil. But it was an amazing thing. But we thank God for every single one of them. And the talent, the genius is not even talent, it's genius. It's the whole ball game, every one of them. If you look at what we did with Maduro, we went into a military compound, a massive, with thousands and thousands of soldiers, and within a matter of minutes, and he lived behind iron doors. There were steel doors, broke them down so quickly, and within almost minutes, he was in the back of these planes. It was a similar group. Incredible. We have incredibly talented people. And if the time comes, we move heaven and earth to bring them home safely. We're going to bring our people home safely. I want to thank every member of the U.S. Armed Forces involved in these historic operations. They really were historic. It's just not something that's done. And you'd understand it. Not that they don't want to do it, but when you're going into areas, when you look at these helicopters, when you look at the amount of bullets and everything else that they took, when you go into these areas, you don't come out like we came out. God was watching us. I tell you, well, it was the Easter, we were in the Easter territory, I guess, but God was watching us. Amazing. Because when you look at the machinery, they took damage. It tells you, first thing I said is, these are unbelievable machines, how they flew back and not even much of a problem. But these two extraordinary rescues, because it was two, and as you probably know, we didn't talk about the first one for an hour. Then somebody leaked something, which we'll hopefully find that leaker. We're looking very hard to find that leaker. And talked about there's somebody missing. They basically said that we have one and there's somebody missing. Well, they didn't know there was somebody missing until this leaker gave the information. So whoever it was, we think we'll be able to find it out because we're going to go to the media company that released it, and we're going to say, national security, give it up or go to jail. And we know who, and you know who we're talking about. Because some things you can't do, because when they did that, all of a sudden, the entire country of Iran knew that there was a pilot that was somewhere on their land that was fighting for his life. And it also made it much more difficult for the pilots and for the people going in to search for him. All of a sudden, they know that there's somebody out there. They see all these planes coming in. It became a much more difficult operation. Because a leaker leaked that we have one, we've rescued one, but there's another one out there that we're trying to get. So actually, the country, Iran, put out a major notice, you all saw it, offering a very big award for anybody that captures the pilot. So in addition to a hostile, very talented, very good, very evil military, we had millions of people trying to get an award. So when you add that to it, but we have to find that leaker because that's a sick person. Probably didn't realize the extent of how bad it was. I can't imagine that the person did, but we're going to find out. It's national security, and the person that did the story will go to jail if he doesn't say, and that doesn't last long, and I think everybody would understand it. They put this mission at great risk. They put that man at great risk, and they put the hundreds of people that went in looking for him, because everyone now knows that we're going in. Over the past 37 days, America's armed forces have carried out more than 10,000 combat flights over Iran, unheard of, striking more than 13,000 targets. The F-15 we lost last week was the first manned aircraft downed by the enemy in this entire operation, with thousands and thousands of flights. They got lucky. It was a lucky hit. You know, eventually you get lucky. But we got lucky too because we got both of them back. But it's a record that is unparalleled in the history of military air operations. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's such an honor to be involved with it. We were up late at night, and then we were waiting for those contingent planes to come in, and we say, come on, let's go, get in, because they're waiting out on this farm without a runway, with wet, crummy soil, sand, mostly sand, wet sand, and it eats planes alive, and we're waiting, and we're saying, I hope that one can land and take off. And they came in like magic, boom, 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 one after another. It was like genius. I'm so impressed by that. Because we were a little concerned. We said, boy, if they don't get in and get up fast, we're sitting in them. And that's called Iran Prime, right, General? That's where the whole bet is. And here we are sitting there waiting for a plane. But they came in so fast and so hard, and these guys knew exactly what to do. Let's go, come on, get in, let's go, Pwah. They came one right after another, not at the same time. They don't want to come at the same time. They had to come right after each other. They didn't have any room. There was barely any room to land. Tiny little patch of very wet earth and sand. So I'm so proud of the people that I have standing up here with me and many others that worked. I mean, so many. Steve Witkoff's over here. He's doing fantastically. Jared Kushner. But the people that are here, the job they did is amazing. And I think I'm going to introduce the head of the CIA, and he is a man he's central casting, okay? If we cast a movie, he's going to play the head of the CIA. He's one of the few. John Ratcliffe, he did a phenomenal job that night. He did something that I don't know if you want to talk about it. If you want, you can. I'm not sure you're supposed to. I'm not going to talk about it. But the CIA was very responsible for finding this little speck. It's like they used an expression on one of the shows. A general was talking about, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, finding this pilot. And the CIA was unbelievable. And you may, if you can, you'll talk. It might be classified, in which case I'd have to put him in jail if he talks about it. And I don't want to put him in jail. He doesn't deserve that. So, John, do you want to say a few words? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a privilege to be here with you today to share what we can about this exceptional mission and to recognize the ingenuity and bravery of those who executed it, as well as the leadership and resolve of the President who ordered it. One thing that has been clear to me in this role is that the flawless military operations that the Department of War is known for are hostage to flawless intelligence. We saw that in the skies over Iran in Operation Midnight Hammer last summer. We witnessed it in Venezuela during Operation Absolute Resolve. We've seen it against the cartels in the Western Hemisphere, and we're seeing it every day in Operation Epic Fury, including this mission to rescue an aviator buried deep behind enemy lines. Because it is the unique tradition of the U.S. Armed Forces that we leave no man or woman behind, this was a no-fail mission. That was the spirit in which the President put us to work, and we were determined not to let him down or our airmen down. As an agency, the CIA possesses unique capabilities that only the President can deploy. Some of these capabilities fall under covert action authorities. And because covert means exactly that, I'm not going to be able to tell you everything that you want to know. At the President's direction, we deployed both human assets and exquisite technologies that no other intelligence service in the world possesses to a daunting challenge, comparable to hunting for a single grain of sand in the middle of a desert. This was also a race against the clock, as it was critical that we locate the downed aviator as quickly as possible, while at the same time keeping our enemies misdirected. For that reason, in addition to the human and technical assets deployed by the President to find our airmen, CIA executed a deception campaign to confuse the Iranians who were desperately hunting for our airmen. On Saturday morning, we achieved our primary objective by finding and providing confirmation that one of America's best and bravest was alive and concealed in a mountain crevice, still invisible to the enemy, but not to the CIA. That confirmation was relayed by Secretary Hegseth to the President, and the operation quickly moved to the execution phase. Following the successful exfiltration on Saturday night, our intelligence reflects that the Iranians were embarrassed and ultimately humiliated by the success of this audacious rescue mission. When the President asked me to lead the CIA, he made it clear: get back to basics, no politics, no agendas, tackle the hardest problems, and execute the toughest missions. This President is about results, and now that's what his CIA is about too. The professionals at the agency and at the Department of War deserve immense credit for their flawless execution during this daring mission. Their skill, creativity, and courage are unmatched on the battlefield wherever they step. But none of that matters, and all of that is wasted without a President with the political courage to put them into action. Mr. President, I've had the privilege of seeing you act with political courage in the best interest of the United States up close on a daily basis, and I'm grateful that this successful mission has given the American people a window into that as well. The Secretary and Chairman will tell you that our service members' confidence is boosted by a Commander-in-Chief who has their back the same way they have yours. And I know that the confidence of CIA's officers is boosted by the knowledge that their work is informing a president who's not afraid to make the hardest decisions when the stakes are highest. And to the American people, your confidence should be boosted by knowing that the security of the nation is in the hands of a president who's willing to take on problems that have confounded both sides of the political aisle for nearly half a century. It is an honor to serve under a leader who just proved that you can believe him when he says, no matter what, we will leave no one behind. We will come for you. Thank you.
Well, John, thank you for the collaboration with the CIA as well. Incredible and ongoing partnership. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Americans, and especially the brave warriors in our armed forces, over this Easter weekend, the United States military has once again proved why we possess the greatest fighting force the world has ever known. In two extraordinary combat search and rescue operations deep inside enemy territory in Iran, our warriors executed missions of breathtaking skill, courage, and precision. When our warriors are unleashed, as this president has allowed them to be, they are unstoppable. When American airmen were down behind enemy lines, our forces and our president did not hesitate. Special operators supported by elite air crews and intelligence professionals moved swiftly and decisively into treacherous mountain terrain under the constant threat of Iranian forces closing in. Ultimately, it was an impotent Iranian threat. And today, as the CIA director mentioned, Iran's military, and we know this, is embarrassed and humiliated, and they should be. Now, these are not routine operations. They were high-risk, high-stakes missions conducted in the heart of enemy territory. This was not just barely into Iran, this was deep into Iran, involving coordinated strikes to suppress threats, deception tactics to protect our teams, and full synchronization across air, ground, and special operations. The Iranians are still asking themselves right now, how did the Americans do this? One downed airman evaded capture for more than a day, scaling rugged ridges while hunted by the enemy. When he was finally able to activate his emergency transponder, his first message was simple and it was powerful. He sent a message, God is good. In that moment of isolation and danger, his faith and fighting spirit shone through. You see, shot down on a Friday, Good Friday, hidden in a cave, a crevice, all of Saturday, and rescued on Sunday. Flown out of Iran as the sun was rising on Easter Sunday. A pilot reborn, all home and accounted for, a nation rejoicing. God is good. Despite incoming fire and unforgiving conditions, our troops brought every American home. No American lives were lost. We leave no man behind, and that is not luck. It's the result of unmatched training, superior technology, an unbreakable warrior ethos, and sheer American grit. Our special operators, pilots, and support crews performed with near perfection under fire, and they were lethal. Just ask any Iranian soldier who dared attempt to get anywhere near that pilot before or during that mission. Death from above. Our troops turned a potential tragedy into a resounding demonstration of American resolve and capability. That's what excellence in uniform looks like. But make no mistake about it, none of this would have been possible without the courageous leadership and ironclad determination of President Donald J. Trump. From the moment our airmen went down, President Trump made it clear we will leave no one behind. The first mission, the first of two, was an audacious daylight thunder run right up the middle. It was authorized in less than 2 hours from that pilot going down when we knew where he was. And it was authorized in the middle of the night, because anybody that's worked for this man knows he's up in the middle of the night. Authorized immediately, without hesitation, audaciously. The second mission, as soon as we knew where that pilot was, and John was certainly helpful in that, also executed immediately. You know, I looked up at my screen when the final mission was complete inside our SCIF, our secure facility. And we have a running VTC, a running coordination cell. And the top of it read 45 hours and 56 minutes. For 45 hours and 56 minutes, we held that call open for coordination. From the moment our pilots went down, our mission was unblinking. The call never dropped, the meeting never stopped, the planning never ceased. The president demanded rapid, decisive action. He backed our military with the full weight of his resolve, refusing to let enemy propaganda or tactical setbacks deter us. His leadership ensured that every lethal and non-lethal resource was brought to bear, that our forces had the authorities and the support they needed to succeed. When the president says he has the backs of our warfighters, he means it. And it means a great deal, and it's a big difference on the battlefield. President Trump understands that peace through strength is not a slogan. It is a doctrine that saves American lives. His unwavering commitment to rebuilding our military and restoring the warrior spirit has paid dividends in missions just like this one. Under his command, America projects power with confidence and brings our people home with victory. And that continues today, by the way. Per the president's direction, today will be the largest volume of strikes since day one of this operation. Tomorrow, even more than today. And then Iran has a choice. Choose wisely, because this president does not play around. You can ask Soleimani, you can ask Maduro, you can ask Khamenei. To those heroes who planned and executed these rescues, your nation stands in awe. I stand in awe. The chairman stands in awe. We all stand in awe of your professionalism and bravery. We serve for you. You embody the very best of America. To the rescued airmen and their families, welcome home. Your courage and endurance, the quiet declaration of faith amid the storm, inspires us all. God is good every day. And to our adversaries watching from Tehran, let this be a clear message. The United States military will go anywhere, at any time, to protect our own and complete the mission. We execute with precision. We control the skies. You see, we flew for 7 hours in daylight over Iran to get the first pilot. And we flew 7 hours in the middle of the night to get the second. And Iran did nothing about it. We fight with honor, and under President Trump's leadership, we win. So God bless our troops, God bless President Trump, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. A note before I start, I know many of you want specific details in these briefings. We will share what we can, but I will retain what I must in the event that we have to go do this again sometime. And I cannot stress the importance, as the President said, around operational security. The Secretary and I will do a more detailed briefing tomorrow morning, and we look forward to sharing the details that we can. On Thursday, 2 April at 10:10 p.m. Eastern Time, 4:40 in the morning, local Iran time, the Joint Personnel Recovery Center, which handles the Central Command area of responsibility, declared an isolated personnel recovery event for a U.S. Air Force F-15E Strike Eagle, call sign Dude 44, which was down in hostile Iranian territory. The pilot and weapons system officer had both safely ejected and were isolated behind enemy lines. Following confirmation of active rescue beacons and on the direction of the Secretary and by order of the President, a rescue operation was launched with the stated purpose of bringing both Americans home safely. As the Secretary said, several hours later on the morning after positively locating the front seater, call sign Dude 44 Alpha, and aware of an aggressive ongoing search by the enemy, a U.S. Central Command plan was approved by the Secretary and the President. Shortly thereafter, a U.S. Air Force Combat Search and Rescue Task Force, comprised of A-10 Warthogs in their Sandy role, and I'll describe what that is in a minute, HC-130 Combat King IIs, HH-60 Jolly Green II helicopters, and Air Force Special Warfare Airmen, a package comprised of combat rescue officers and pararescueman operators, audaciously penetrated enemy territory in broad daylight to find, fix, and recover Dude 44 Alpha from behind enemy lines. This was an incredibly dangerous mission, an incredibly dangerous undertaking, but a filled promise made to every American warfighter that you will not be left behind. We will always come find you, and we will always bring you home. Over the next hours, the Search and Rescue Task Force crossed the beach, entered into Iranian airspace, protected by a fighter strike package, and moved into the objective area, all under fire. En route, as some of you have seen on social media, the helicopters took gas off the C-130s and pressed onward and forward up into the objective area. While this was ongoing and out in front of them, the Sandy flight of A-10s and other remotely piloted aircraft, drones, and other tactical aircraft were violently suppressing and engaging the enemy in a close-in gunfight to keep them away from the front seater and allow the pickup force to get into the objective area. During this engagement, one of the Sandy aircraft, the one primarily responsible for communicating with the downed pilot, was hit by enemy fire. This pilot continued to fight, continued the mission, and then upon exit, flew his aircraft into another country and determined that the airplane was not landable. This was one of our A-10 Sandy aircraft. The pilot then made the decision to eject over friendly territory and was quickly and safely recovered and is doing fine. After picking up Dude 44 Alpha, the HH-60 Jolly Green fight was engaged by every single person in Iran who had a small arms weapon. And one of the aircraft, the trailing aircraft, took several hits. The crew sustained minor injury, and they are going to be fine. A note for those of you that do not know what a Sandy does. Named after the flight call sign that did this very mission in Vietnam, flying A-1 Sky Raiders and A-7 Corsairs, a Sandy has one mission: get to the survivor, bring the rescue force forward, and put themselves between that survivor on the ground and the enemy. They are committed to this. This is what they live for, and this is what they've trained for over many, many years. The A-10 force and the rescue force did a fantastic job rescuing Dude 44 Alpha. He was recovered Friday afternoon. As I said, and the nation needs to know this, this was an incredibly brave and courageous mission, and a testament to the courage, skill, and tenacity of the joint force and our leaders. And especially a daylight option, having the guts to try, means so much to so many. Meanwhile, the backseater, as the President and the Secretary have said, had continued to work and survive. Through the hours of daylight, Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater, evaded. Using every means available, the efforts of the United States military, the Central Intelligence Agency, and others were attempting to find and locate with precision Dude 44 Bravo, the backseater. A note on the backseater and the front seater. The single most important contributor to a successful rescue operation is the spirit of attack inside the heart of that downed aviator. Their will to survive, their will to evade, their will to recover is everything. In this case, the backseater's absolute commitment to surviving made much of our efforts possible. On Saturday, 4 April, after establishing positive communications with the backseater, we learned, as the president said, that he was injured and actively evading enemy forces. And thanks to our interagency partners, we were able to get eyes on his location and positively ID him. Throughout this entire time, the enemy force continued to search for 4-4 Bravo, and the joint force continued to strike them over and over and over again. Fighting off marginal weather in Iran and the enemy's search for a second time on Saturday, at the recommendation of the CENTCOM commander and at the approval of the Secretary and the President, we launched a rescue task force to recover Dude 4-4 Bravo. Again, this came to the President and the Secretary for approval, this time with a much larger force package based on the time that the enemy had to prepare to find 4-4 Bravo. Again, this force was protected by A-10 Warthogs using the Sandy call sign. And this force had one single mission: do everything they can to bring an American home. This meant having a plan, being prepared to execute that plan, and, more importantly, being prepared for multiple, simultaneous contingencies. And because of this force's professionalism, grit, and determination, fight off two enemies at the same time: the enemy searching for 4-4 Bravo and contingencies, which anyone who has done these types of missions knows we run into every single time. The force fought off both of those enemies incredibly well. During the period of darkness on Saturday, and as the Secretary said, into Easter Sunday and into the daylight, the force fought its way in and rescued Dude 4-4 Bravo. They were protected overhead by an air armada, including tactical drones, strike aircraft, and others. The force fought through multiple simultaneous contingencies, something no other nation, no other military can do, and safely returned Dude 4-4 Bravo, the backseater, home, and all other Americans home as well. At midnight 12 local Eastern time, Easter Sunday, more than 50 hours after the start of this operation, the Joint Personnel Recovery Center declared Dude 4-4 Bravo, both the front and backseater, returned to friendly territory. The courage demonstrated by both the pilot and the weapons system officer while isolated and them invading the enemy cannot be overstated. Their grit and warfighting tenacity is a direct result of the absolute trust they have in our rescue forces, their training, and their will to survive and return. They always knew that we would be ordered to go get them, and they always knew that we would be coming to get them. These two operations reflect our nation's most sacred obligation to our military service members. We leave no one behind, bless you. It also perfectly captures the first truth of our Special Operations Forces, that people are more important than hardware. That is the standard we live by, and the rescue forces that execute these missions operate under a clear motto: these things we do that others may live. Their actions were a direct embodiment of that commitment to others, and I could not be more proud of each and every one of them today. As the Secretary said to our enemies, this operation serves as a clear reminder of the capability and will of America's joint force. The United States of America will recover our warfighters anywhere in the world, under any conditions, when we want to. We will always bring overwhelming skill and firepower. To every member of the joint force, our interagency partners, the leadership at CENTCOM, and our leaders at the department and above, thank you. I'm proud of each and every one of you and thankful to our deployed forces and their families. And lastly, and most importantly, to Dude 4-4, welcome home. Job well done. Thank you.
Pretty amazing, pretty amazing. And these two gentlemen have been, from day one, they've been perfecto. You know, I got to know General Kane in my first term because he was able to take out ISIS in 4 weeks instead of the 4-year projection that was given to me by other much lesser generals. I said, you know, if I ever do this again, that's going to be the head of my Joint Chiefs of Staff. And we worked it that way, didn't we? It's amazing. He took out ISIS. We defeated ISIS in 4 weeks. I was told it would take 4 years. I flew to Iraq to find out with the greatest equipment in the world, why would it take 4 years? And he told me, sir, it won't. It'll take 4 weeks and you'll have time left over. And that's exactly what happened. So he's great. And Pete, all I can say is that he was treated very unfairly. And now those same people that treated him unfairly, that fought against him, they called me up saying, what a great choice he was. They said, well, what happened during his nomination? What happened to you? I'm telling you, people that were not for him, senators, friends of mine, sir, I don't think you're doing the right thing. Now they're calling me up. What a choice. These two guys are fantastic. And John Ratcliffe was incredible. It was actually their genius that called us from, he was 40 miles away. And he said, you know, we're seeing something moving up in the mountain. This is at night. And they kept the camera on him for 45 minutes. He wasn't moving. And they said, you know, probably wrong, but we're seeing something moving. This is a vast mountain, vast, thick, with bushes, trees. He said, we see something moving 40 miles away. It was the head of a human being, I'm telling you, it's moving. And then all of a sudden, 45 minutes later, he moved a lot. Stood up, and they said, we have him. And that was really the beginning of something incredible. We had an idea where he was, but not specifically. That's a big mountain. So I want to thank the CIA, too. I don't think they get enough credit for the great job they've done. Yes, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, for this great opportunity. Country, it has super army. You make a difference, Mr. President. Thank you for your greatest leadership.
Thank you.
I have 2 quick questions, Mr. President. What was your reaction when you learned that Kurdistan region had resumed exporting oil to the international market with your support as United States of America?
Well, I expected that. We've gotten along with the Kurds for a long time, so I expected that.
Another question, what would be your reaction if the Iranian people rise up against their regime during a ceasefire, Mr. President?
Well, they should do it, but again, the consequences are great. I mean, they were told if you protest, you will be shot immediately. You saw what happened to the young wrestler. He was a great champion, by the way. He was a great wrestler, one of the top in the world. And he and his 2 friends were hung. And all they did was say a little bit about liberty. They wanted liberty, and they were violently executed. But the number is up to probably 45,000 people were killed. So, you know, when somebody stays in a house, when they know if they walk out of the house to protest, they'll be immediately shot and killed. And they issued that, you know, that was publicly issued. It's not a secret. That's why so many people say, oh, well, why are you doing this way? We can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon. You know, we got regime change, we do. We're dealing with a much different regime than before. We're dealing with different people. They're smarter. I think they're sharper and far less radical. We have regime change, but we didn't do this for regime change. We did it for the fact, and my view was very simple. I saw somebody said, oh, he doesn't have a plan. I have the best plan of all, but I'm not going to tell you what my plan is. You know, they want me to say, here's my plan. We're going to attack at 9:47 in the morning, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to... And if you don't do that, they say, I have a plan. These people know what the plan is. Everybody here knows what the plan is. But it's very unfair to say, you know, because I don't mind being insulted. I've been insulted for many years by the fake news. But you can't... It's so bad for the people that are so pro... You just saw 2 great, and John Ratcliffe, 3 unbelievable people. They have a plan. Every single thing has been thought out by all of us. But I can't reveal the plan to the media. So, you know, but we're just thrilled by the success of this operation. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've said Iranians would be mad if you stopped these attacks, but why would they want you to blow up their infrastructure, to cut off their power? Wouldn't that be punishing Iranians for the actions of the regime?
They would be willing to, they would be willing, and it's suffering, they would be willing to suffer that in order to have freedom. The Iranians have, and we've had numerous intercepts. Please keep bombing. Bombs that are dropping near their homes. Please keep bombing. Do it. And these are people that are living where the bombs are exploding. And when we leave and we're not hitting those areas, they're saying, please come back, come back, come back. These are the people. I don't know what they do. All I can tell you is they want freedom. They have lived in a world that you know nothing about. It's a violent, horrible world where if you protest, you are shot. Remember the great woman protests where they had 400,000, 500,000 women, and they were all enthused and they were going to protest, and everybody said, oh, the regime's going to come to an end. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, 5, 6 different areas. A woman would go down right between the eyes. They had snipers. They had 5 snipers. That's all it took. And those 400,000 or 500,000 women said, oh my God, what's that? Oh, look over there, what's that? A woman shot right between the eyes. And after 5 or 6 of them go down, then you start hearing the purr through the vast number of people. And then they said, oh my God, who would do that? And they're incredible people, but they've lived so horribly. They've lived so horribly. You know, Iran was a great country if you go back 25 years ago or so. The Persian people, they're incredible, smart, brilliant, actually. And I know so many. I know coming from New York, originally, I know so many people from Iran. They're incredible people, incredible energy, and very, very brilliant people. But when you're standing in a group and protesting and you have a woman, in the case of the woman, remember the Great Woman March, everybody was saying, oh, this is the end of the country. And then snipers selectively picked. Every single one was shot right between the eyes from a long distance. They were on top of buildings. Nobody even knew where they were. Where they coming from? This wasn't like a machine gun, which is also very bad. They've done that too. They did that recently. This was snipers sitting on the top of buildings, aiming and hitting women. And when they see people go down, and all of a sudden there's a riot in the reverse direction, and they never came out again. And a lot of the news doesn't talk about that. They talk about, oh, women's rights. You want to see women's rights? You're not going to see it there. It's amazing when I see some of the stupid people like, you know, AOC plus 3, all that group. They talk about, oh, freedom for Iran. They don't tell you the real facts. Women, men, gays. How about gays for Iran? They kill the gays. They throw them off buildings. So I wonder what's going on. I can only say this. They want us to keep bombing, even if it jeopardizes, because their life is in much greater danger. They want freedom for Iran, but it's very hard for them to protest. I actually tell them, I said, don't go out. I fully understand. Nobody in this room would go out. I don't think there's any, because frankly, it's not a question of bravery. We're all brave, right? You're brave, I'm brave, we're all brave. But we're also intelligent. If you have people shooting at you, expert shots with the best rifles you can get, and hitting you right between the eyes every single time, and you're looking here and you're seeing and you're looking here, you're out of there. I don't care who it is. Please.
Mark Meredith, Fox News.
I know that.
Oh, thank you.
How would I know that? Go ahead.
America's watching. No.
Good job.
Can we go back to the weekend? First off, was everyone on board with the operation, or were there people that were trying to talk you out of going through with the operation this weekend?
Not everybody was on board.
Somebody else within
No,
your-
there was military people, very professional, that preferred not doing it. These two were totally on board, which was very important. If they weren't, it would have had a little difficulty. But no, there were military people that said, you just don't do this. You don't go into the heart of a very powerful military. You know, this is, hey, you have countries and countries. You have some countries where military is not their strong suit. This whole thing is militarized like nobody's ever seen before. Half the people are wearing uniforms. And we had people within the military. Usually it's not done. That's one of the reasons. You know, I was surprised. Somebody said it's the only time it's ever been done. I said, that's not possible. But it is possible because you're going into hundreds of thousands of soldiers along the path. I mean, look at some of the helicopters, how they got hit. So, yeah, there were people within the military that said it's a wise. And don't forget, how many men did you send altogether, approximately, for the operation?
I'd love to keep that a secret. Mr.
Okay, well, but I will tell you, the number, I'll keep it a secret, but it was hundreds. And hundreds of these people, it's pretty good. Is he central casting? But hundreds of people went into this journey. Hundreds of people could have been killed. Forget about the equipment, a lot of equipment, nobody cares. Hundreds of people could have been killed. So we had people that were within the military that said this is not a wise, and I understood that, but I decided to do it.
Was there a point that that you were thinking there's too much on the line, and somebody was saying maybe we abort this now and wait? I mean, given the resource, like the general said, it seemed like there was so much on the line here. You must have been thinking this could have completely changed.
So the first one, which was in many ways as dangerous as the second, I guess it gets, because we're flying over daylight. You know, we're the best at the world at night. We have goggles that nobody. We have goggles. I've tried them. They're unbelievable. I see better with the goggles at night than I see without them during daylight. I mean, daylight today, we have a beautiful day. You see just as well with goggles. In many ways, it's enhanced. So we have the best in the world. So it's much safer for us to do it at night, whereas other people, no other country has that capability. They don't have that particular piece of equipment like we do. But when I was told flying and in daylight, I think we flew 7 hours over Iran, and that's a long time, over unbelievably hostile territory where they have nothing but weapons. We took out their anti-aircraft, which is great. We took out their radar, which is great. We took out a lot, but they still have, you know, what hit this one was a handheld shoulder missile, heat-seeking missile. So it's not like, you know, they're totally whatever. And they had probably a little luck, because you got to get lucky. But they shot it, and it got sucked in right by the engine. But these guys were out of there. They were great. Their timing was great. But no, I was told that this is a very dangerous mission. I understand. They didn't say it's a foolish mission. They said, you know, we're going to be sacrificing hundreds of people do this. This is, I mean, you have tankers that are flying over this area so that the flight was so long they had to refuel. It's a very dangerous mission. I just felt it was worth it. If you would have told me that we would have been successful, gotten both, and nobody was even essentially injured, I would have said that would be impossible. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I'll come back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Given that you are now dealing, you say, with a more reasonable, less extreme leadership in Iran, what does that mean for the protesters, for the human rights movement in that country after this conflict?
Well, I
What's
think
your
positive.
expectation?
Yeah, if they assume control, if we do something and they assume control, I think it's very positive, a big step. I don't think you'd see the radicalization that you have seen in the last. Look what happened. I mean, women are being executed because they're not properly clothed, they say. They're not properly clothed, and they execute the women. They shoot them right on the street. No, you have a much different group of people. Now, I'm not saying we are dealing with them. Essentially, they have till 8 o'clock tomorrow night, Eastern time. But we are dealing with them. I think it's going well. Mr. Witkoff is here, and JD's involved in the dealing. Mr. Witkoff is sitting right here, and I think it's going fine, but we'll have to see. You have to understand, we've been dealing with these people for 47 years. I'm standing here with a much more powerful Iran as of a month ago, not anymore. Right now, they are decapitated. But I'm standing here a month ago with a much more powerful Iran than it was at any point during 47 years. This should have been handled by 7 presidents, a lot of presidents. And those presidents are saying now, every one of them to their friends, we should have done this a long time ago. So it's not something I like doing. It's very dangerous, and we're getting them at the height of their strength. If I didn't terminate the Barack Hussein Obama Iran nuclear deal, they would have had a, don't forget, that was a path to a nuclear weapon. Remember this. He chose Iran over Israel, pure and simple. How Israel can vote for a Democrat is if you're Jewish in New York City or any place else in this country, and how you can vote for a Democrat is unbelievable, because he chose Iran, a very hostile Iran. Remember when he filled up a 757 with cash, billions of dollars of cash, and he sent it over to them. Then they gave them tens of billions of dollars. He chose Iran over Israel and really the Arab world, if you look, because, you know, the other, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, I mean, you take a look. I mean, I can add Kuwait and I can add Bahrain, and you can add others. He chose such an unlikely candidate. Nobody could believe it. Frankly, if you're going to choose between Iraq and Iran, he should have befriended Iraq. He went in the exact opposite direction of all thinking, and he made a terrible mistake. But that was a road to a nuclear weapon. And when I terminated that, everyone said, oh, he terminated it. It was one of the best things we ever did, because he had a road to a nuclear weapon. And it was a very short-term deal. You know, countries don't do 10-year deals. Countries do hundreds of years. You don't do a 10-year deal. For a country, you need, this isn't, you're a landlord and you're renting a store on a certain street and you give somebody a 5-year or a 10-year lease. This is a country. It was a short-term deal. It was ready to expire. I terminated it before it expired. Took a lot of heat, and it was one of the best things I ever did, because he would have had a nuclear weapon. Then he would have had another nuclear weapon, had those beautiful B-2 bombers not gone in 8 months ago and obliterated that site. And by the way, the word is obliteration. CNN said, well, maybe it wasn't complete. It was so complete that they still haven't been able to get it. It was obliteration. But if we didn't hit them, that was a courageous decision too, because we had all those planes flying in at night with very little cover, unbelievable stealth planes, and they were able to do their job. If we didn't do that, Iran would have had a nuclear weapon at a high level, either one of those two instances. And if they did, in my opinion, I told this to Bibi Netanyahu yesterday, Israel would have been extinguished. Large portions of the Middle East would have been extinguished, whether it's Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, or others. And you saw that with thousands of missiles raining down upon them. They didn't think they were going to be hit. They thought they'd be watching us fight. And all of a sudden, UAE got hit by 1,500 missiles. He would have taken them out also. And they were powerful. If I didn't come along and terminate the Obama deal, which was terrible, the Iran nuclear deal was a road to a nuclear weapon, a big one, unlimited, legally. I terminated it without even much thought. It was so easy. I terminated that, and then the B-2 bombers. And I did one other thing. I had killed Qasem Soleimani, who was an evil genius. And the reason I did it, I heard he was going to knock out 5 of our military bases. And had he lived, I believe we would be fighting perhaps a different Iran right now, because he's never been replaced, you know. And I did one other, but this one was not picked up. Osama bin Laden. If you read my book, I said you got to take him out 1 year before the World Trade Center came down. So I wish you'd read the book.
If you're just tuning in,
as
this is the
president,
breakdown. We are
to be a good
live
president, I believe
watching
you have to have good
President
instincts.
Trump
And a lot of this is instinct. Yeah,
talk
please.
about
Thank you so much for taking my question.
the recovery of.
Mr.
Yeah, go ahead,
President,
please.
last week you suggested that Europe should take the lead on reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Has
was
circumstances changed now that you're issuing a direct 48-hour ultimatum? And secondly, would a new ceasefire include Israel, or would it just be between Iran
I can't
and
talk
US?
about ceasefire, but I can tell you that we have a active, willing participant on the other side.
I'm having fun messing
They would
with the
like to
chat.
be able to make a deal. I can't say
By the way,
anything
shout
else.
out. I love you.
Mr. President, you've listed the goals. Excuse me.
Please, go ahead.
You've listed the goals.
Who you with? Who you with?
My name is Diyar Kurd. I'm with the largest Kurdish media outlet, Rudaw Media Network. It's based in Iran.
Go ahead.
Mr. President,
Kurdish media.
you said before
Wow.
that you don't want the Kurdish forces to enter Iran and be harmed. Do you still want them to stay away? Or what role do you expect them to play now?
I'd rather have them stay away.
And then
I'd rather have them stay away because I think they bring with them some problems and some difficulties. And I don't think they bring death, I mean, you know, to themselves. But I'd rather have them stay away. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate human conventions and international law.
Who are you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Zolan from the New York Times. Are you
Failing, the failing.
Are you
You see
concerned?
circulation way down at the New York Times.
Are
What's
you
going on with
concerned
it?
that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to
No,
war
not at
crimes?
all. No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And if somebody that takes my place someday is weak and ineffective, which possibly that will happen because we had numerous presidents that were weak, ineffective, and afraid of Iran, we're never going to let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you think it's okay for people that are sick of mind, that are tough, smart, and sick, really sick, you know, from a policy standpoint, from a any which way you want to say, mentally, these are disturbed people. If you think I'm going to
stumbled
allow
on
them, and
ideological,
powerful and
and he's
rich,
not rounding
to
back.
have a nuclear weapon, you can tell your friends at the New York Times,
This is
not
the
going to
weed.
happen.
It means violating
Quiet,
international law.
quiet. You no longer have credibility at the New York Times because the New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election, and I won in a landslide. I won every swing state. New York Times said, oh, Trump won't win the election. New York Times has no credibility.
Here we go.
The
We
credibility
got
they have
started.
is it used to be all the news that's fit to print. A great,
He must
the
have
old
got
gray
some
lady
sleep
was
after
great,
that
but
operation.
They're
went
running
down,
on
huh? And
past
he's like,
fumes,
all right,
and you can't
he's
keep
safe.
doing that. You have
I'm
to
just
be able
ready,
to
bro.
give the correct
I'm
news.
just gonna
throwing
take
hands.
it
Too
to the
much
People
old
media.
like you,
smoke.
who I know, are fake. You're fake. Go ahead, please.
Your messaging on the war has moved from the war is coming to an end to war going to be bombing Iran to the Stone Ages.
Right.
And we've heard a range of those
Sure.
kind of messages. So are you? So
said
which is
Stone
it? Are you
Ages.
winding this
Can't
down,
tell
or
you.
are you escalating
I can't tell
it?
you. I don't know.
Now I
It
want him
depends
to
what
say
they
it.
do. This is a critical period. They have a period of,
I want
well,
him to say it now.
till
Please.
tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I gave them an extension. They asked for an extension of 7 days, right? I said, Steve, give them 10 days. 10 days is up actually today,
Steve,
so I
give
gave them
them 10
11, I
days.
guess indirectly. I thought it was inappropriate the day after Easter.
And then
I
bomb
wanna
them
be a
into
nice
the
person.
Stone Age.
They have till tomorrow. Now we'll see what happens. I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith. We're going to find
The
out.
audience,
We're
I
getting
don't
the
think
help
he ever
of
actually
some
said that.
incredible countries that
Oh my God, I'm
want this
crying.
to be ended because it affects them also. A lot of people are
I got
affected
tears in
by
my
this.
eyes.
But we're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time. And after that,
I text a friend of
They're
mine
gonna have no
to
bridges.
have somebody
They're gonna
ask
have no
what his
power
time
plants.
meaning is for Mr. Gentle Storm
Stone
in the chat
Ages,
here.
yeah. Stone Ages.
What is the time meaning? Let's see if it gets asked.
CNN fake news.
Are you willing to make a deal that does not include reopening the Strait
CNN
of
fake
Hormuz,
news.
or is that now a top priority?
I would say it's a very big priority because, see, that's one thing that's a little different than other things. We can bomb the hell out of them. We can knock them out for a loop. But to close the strait, all you need is one terrorist that somehow has a truck loaded with, because you can carry them in trucks, large trucks, a water mine, drop them in the water, and now you tell people that own ships that cost $1 billion to don't worry about the mine. You can do that even just by saying we put mines in the water. So it's not like the rest. We can knock out their military. We already have. We've knocked out their Navy. We've knocked out their Air Force completely. We've knocked out 158 ships in 3 days. We've knocked out even their mine droppers. They don't have any mine droppers anymore, but they put them on other boats, and they could drop them. I'm not even sure they have any mines there, by the way. I'm not sure. I'm personally, they say there might be 8. I don't know. I think there might be none. because they're very good bullshit artists. That's why for 47 years they've been bullshitting other presidents, and they haven't done the job. And people are living in hell. You live in that country, they're living in hell. No, I think that
they're very good
47
bullshit
years
artists.
of this stuff is long enough.
That's amazing.
They're at the weakest point they've ever been. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft weaponry, they have no radar, they have no communication. In fact, the biggest problem we have in our negotiation is that they can't communicate. I said to Steve, what are they saying? Sir, they can't communicate. They have no method of communication. So we're communicating like they used to communicate 2,000 years ago with children, bringing a note back and forth. They have no communication. But all I want to see is I want to have a safe world, and you're not going to have a safe world. Israel will be gone. The Middle East will be gone. And then they're coming for Europe. And I have to tell you, I'm very disappointed in NATO, very. I think that NATO, I think it's a mark on NATO that will never disappear in my mind. You know, they're coming to see me on Wednesday. They're going to say, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. Now they all of a sudden want to send things.
I think we got restricted.
But they said
on
it loud
TikTok
and clear
here.
at the beginning when I spoke to UK.
It is
of
what
all,
it
I
is.
would've said they would've
That's
been
come
there
to.
first
You got to
'cause they've been-
expect that.
they're the old
When you're playing a Trump,
And
you
I
know,
said,
press
yeah, I'd love to
conference, you
have a
got to
little
expect
help.
that.
He said, no, sir, we'd rather wait till you win. I said, I don't need help
Somebody
after we
didn't
win.
like us laughing
They have
about
two
what he was
old
saying.
broken aircraft carriers, barely work. I said, I guess we can use them. Who the hell
Oh, my
knows? I
God.
called the general. He didn't even want them. He said, we don't really need them. We got the SS Abraham Lincoln, sir. We don't need them. You know, we have, in terms of technology, we had one day 101 missiles going at 2,700 miles an hour, aimed at the Abraham Lincoln.
Oh yeah, some of them are filtering into the X
101
chat now.
missiles. Out of 101 missiles, 101 missiles
Shout
were
out to everybody
shot
on
down.
X.
Unbelievable technology. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't know if that would have been possible, but 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been possible. 101 missiles heading to a ship that's not that far off the coast. And out of the 101 missiles, we shot down all 101. We have weaponry.
David,
the Patriots are
I have the
unbelievable.
feeling
we
he
have
could
weaponry.
talk all day.
That's
Yo.
unbelievable. Yeah.
This press conference was scheduled for 45 minutes. We are now
Go ahead, please.
2 hours in.
Thank you, Mr.
We'll probably be
President.
ending at
You
9.
said earlier
Right about
today
the
during
time
the
where
annual
Landy goes
that you'd
live
like
with his
to take
market
Iran's
update.
oil.
9 p.m. Eastern Standard
Americans want
Time.
US
Yeah, pretty
forces
much.
Correct.
What's that trade-off?
If I had my
Does it
choice,
take too
if I had my
much time?
choice, yeah, because I'm a businessman first. With Venezuela, as you know, the war was over in about 45 minutes. And we have great people running Venezuela, very good people. I mean, the relationship is good. And we are a partner with Venezuela. And we've taken hundreds of
Oh yeah,
millions
it's definitely
of barrels,
restricted because
hundreds
I've been
of
in the
millions.
chat the whole time.
Over 100 million
If I
barrels
like
already is
The
in
video
Houston,
again
refined and
shows
out.
up as a new.
And paid for
Like
that
I
war
just
many,
joined.
many times over, many times. And you know,
Interesting.
the old days, to the victim,
Like restricted us?
okay? You know that.
Yeah.
To the,
Let me see if I
to the
reshared.
winner belong the spoils. Go the
Oh, yeah.
spoils.
It
And I
doesn't
said,
even
why
show that
don't we
I
use
had
it?
already
To
reshared
the
it.
victor. Go
Interesting.
the spoils. And we don't have
There
that.
we
We
go.
haven't had that in this country probably in 100 years, because even the Second World War, you look at
Probably
the Second
something I
World
said.
War, we didn't have it with the Second World. We helped rebuild all those countries. We rebuilt Germany. How about Germany telling us that, well, it's not their war. We had nothing to do with it. They wanted me to go and tell them everything I was doing. We didn't know anything about it. Well, if I would have told them, they would have leaked it, and we wouldn't have been nearly as successful, possibly, right? But to the victor belong the spoils. So we haven't heard that in, I think, maybe hundreds of years. Now with Venezuela, and we, just so you understand, the people of Venezuela, they say if I ran for president of Venezuela, I'm polling higher than anybody has ever polled in Venezuela. So after I'm finished with this, I can go to Venezuela. I will quickly learn Spanish. It won't take too long. I'm good at language. And I will go to Venezuela. I'm going to run for president. But we're very happy with the president-elect that we have right now, the
I would
people
love to
that
see
are
that.
running it.
President of Venezuela.
If you remember Bush
Donald.
with Iraq, they
Jose
fired the
Trump.
generals, they fired the police, they fired the people that worked in there equivalent of the White House.
Friend,
They fired
maybe they
everybody.
restricted you.
And you know what they had?
Yeah, maybe
they
it
had
was
a
me.
mess. And you know what happened? ISIS
Gentle
formed.
storm.
Those generals
Uh,
and those soldiers
they,
got
like,
together.
you go
The
for it.
police got together. They all got together. They formed ISIS.
Trump should
Not
put
gonna
on a
happen with
crown
us.
and just
So
sit here
Venezuela's
and give
been an
the sermon
incredible.
to the press
been an
of what's
incredible
going on
situation. We
around
went
the
in,
world just
We were
continuously
very
for the
successful.
next
Military
8 to
power
10
like
years.
nobody's ever seen. The general,
he could
Venezuelan
do it.
general, said, I was on that site. I said, I've never seen ferocity like that. I've been doing this for 40 years. He said, I've never
Come up
seen
to a
it.
Diet Coke,
They hit us from
IV.
17 different. It was.
Let 'em rip.
They were all set. They saw
Jesus.
that big,
Get some
beautiful
McDonald's delivered.
aircraft carrier, the Ford in that case.
He can talk.
And planes were pouring off it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So
You
typically,
could tell he
when
definitely
you see
got some
that
rest
late at night,
after
he's
all of
lit.
that
you
ordeal.
could be in trouble, right?
See, this is different
And
than his speech.
we were all ready.
Well, I
They
mean,
had their
look,
equipment.
man.
It was Russian, and they had
In
Chinese
the
equipment.
thick
It
of
was
a
all
tough
set. They were going to
situation.
give us a fight.
I wouldn't have been sleeping.
He said, and then
sleeping
they
either. I
came,
would have been a little tired
and
too.
they came at speeds like we've never seen.
I was tired just trying
and
to
they
keep
came
up
at
with what was going
17
on.
different angles. The general and his people. That was
I'm
a
not
lot
80.
of angles. They hit him from every
Yo,
angle.
to
He
be
said,
79 years old and have
we
this
knew it
kind of
was
energy,
over
bro, it's crazy.
in 3 minutes. We were waiting for him. Their equipment
was
didn't
earlier.
work.
It was like,
And there's a reason it didn't work.
bring
Someday
Biden
we'll
back
explain that to
as soon as he
people.
comes to the podium. He
Pressed
forgets
the
why he's
button,
there.
Nothing happened.
But at least he
They
gets
pressed
some
it
good
again
Baskin
and again,
Robbins
nothing
tips.
happened.
Somebody
And he
said,
said, we knew this whole thing
Those
was over
term
in
is
3
gonna
minutes.
end
We've never
before
seen
the
any.
speech.
He used
I'm
the word
fucking
ferocity.
dead.
The ferocity of these planes from 17 different angles. And it was over. They went inside. And remember, that was on a military base with thousands of soldiers. And those soldiers looked and they said, get the hell out of here. Thousands. We didn't have thousands. We
No,
had like
he's like-
200
he just-
people.
It's basically
So,
up there just trolling
we
all
have
the
a
other
great
presidents.
military. And I'll tell you what, somehow this rescue captured the world's attention, more so than
Oh my God.
normally. You're talking about 2 people. But this rescue captured the world's attention.
Somebody says,
But
"What's
we
up?
did
Good
it
to
in
hear us."
Venezuela.
I
That
don't-
was amazing. And now
I
we have a
can't
very
read that
bad
because
man
it's just a
in
bunch of letters
prison
and a
going to
47
trial.
after
And
it. So I'm assuming
he released,
different account.
aside from the drugs, which he
Good
was
to see you
terrible,
again.
Maduro released hundreds of thousands of people
Guys, if you're just
from
tuning in,
jails into our country.
This is the breakdown, episode
Drug
695,
dealers,
sponsored by
murderers,
Midnight.
The worst
Also,
people in the world were
Polymarket,
released
Wallet,
into our
and
country
Preserve.
because we
We
had
are
a stupid
watching
president
President Trump live
who
at
probably
the White
didn't
House,
know. And we had a
briefing us
border
on
czar
everything
who
that's
never went to
happened
the
this
border
weekend.
and never once called our great border patrol agents.
We're
right?
watching
Not
a
once,
marathon
Kamala.
speech.
She never called the border patrol.
This
Like,
is
She
he
never
should
said,
do a
"How we doing?" I used to
fundraiser if
call
he's
the
gonna
border
talk
patrol
this
guys
long,
every
like-
day. You
like-
can ask them, Paul. Ask any one of
Set
them.
up like some sort of
Brandon,
fundraiser and have
ask-
goals to meet.
All the time. How are we doing? How are we doing? And we now, I'm proud to say, have a totally sealed border. 9
Like, how
months,
long-
nobody is coming through our border, and nobody even tries because
Like,
they know
oh,
they're
I
not
can
gonna
I
get
can
through.
answer
So
like
we don't have
10 more
caravans
questions.
anymore.
Well, well,
So maybe 1 or 2 more, and we'll be done.
Oh, just one or two more?
Mr. President, are you allowed to, or are you willing to end this conflict with Iran charging tolls for passage through the strait?
Us charging tolls?
Iran.
What about us charging tolls?
Is that something you're considering?
I'd rather do that than let them have them, right? Why shouldn't we? We're the winner. We won. Okay? They are militarily defeated. The only thing they have is the psychology of, oh, we're going to drop a couple of mines in the water, all right? No, we
literally
have, a
have an
concept where
armada
we'll
there.
charge tolls.
We could
I
charge
thought you meant
tolls.
us. Your question would have been more accurate if you said us. Go ahead.
He's not wrong, technically speaking. We have an armada there. We've got DFC.
Do they have
Yeah.
to make a deal, open the strait, or both?
Fire
We have to
insurance.
have a deal.
We'll protect
that's
you on the way
acceptable
through.
To me. And part of that deal is going to be, we want free traffic of oil and everything else.
President, thank you very much. You've said glory be to God in this conflict. Do you believe that God supports the United States' actions in this
I do,
war?
because
And have you
God
sought
is
his direction?
good. Because God is good, and God wants to see people taken care
That's
of.
gonna
God
be a
doesn't
shirt,
like
by the
what's
way.
happening. I don't like what's happening. Everyone says I enjoy. I don't enjoy this. I don't enjoy it. These 2 guys don't enjoy it. You know, people say, "Oh boy, they're so tough." They don't want. They don't like. I don't like seeing people killed. I've ended 8 wars.
2 more questions.
Nobody's ever
We're on
done it.
3, yeah.
The person who won the Nobel Prize came to me and said, "You deserve the Nobel Prize." She announced that. When they announced, they said, "Goes to Maria. She's a great person, really a good person." She said, no, no, no. This is ridiculous. They gave me the Nobel Prize. President Trump ended 8 wars. I could go over every one of them, including India and Pakistan, where the Prime Minister of Pakistan said President Trump saved from 30 to 50 million lives. That makes me much happier than what we're doing right now. That makes me much happier. We have one more to end, by the way.
You called yesterday in your Truth Social,
Otherwise
you
known as
called
a
the
war.
Iranians crazy bastards.
True.
What is your response to critics who say that
I
it
don't
is-
care about critics.
What is your response to critics who say that it is your mental health that should perhaps be examined as this war
Well,
continues?
I haven't heard that. But if that's the case, you're going to have more people like me, because our country was being ripped off on trade, on everything, for many years until I came along.
I concur.
So if that's the
Digital
case, you're going to
hockey.
have more people. Dasha, go ahead.
That is good.
Dasha, go.
You said that very little is off limits in Iran as far as targeting,
Yeah.
including power plants, bridges, you've mentioned those.
Very little is off limits.
Are there certain kinds of civilian targets, though? I'm thinking schools
I don't want
or
to tell you
hospitals
that.
you
I don't want
would
to
say
tell you
is
that.
off-
We have a plan because of the power of our
The
military.
press stupid. Like, yeah, let me
Every
tell you
bridge
exactly what we're gonna do
in
here.
Iran will be decimated by 12
The
o'clock.
camera operator
tomorrow
fell
night,
asleep there for a
where
minute.
Every power
He
plant
got a little bit of drift.
in Iran will be
Yo, he's
out of business.
past the 2 questions
burning,
he allowed, man.
exploding,
He's on.
and
he's
never to be
3,
used again.
5
I mean,
or 6
complete
now.
demolition by 12 o'clock. And it'll happen over a period of 4 hours if we wanted to. We don't want that to happen. We may even get involved with helping them rebuild their
Cheddars,
nation.
we should have put up a
And
poly
you know
market
what?
on how
If
many
that's
more
the case,
questions
the
he's
last
going
thing
to
we
take
want to
after
do is
this.
start with
Right?
power plants, which are among the most expensive thing, and bridges.
Now I'm
You saw the bridge.
Polymarket.
The bridge went.
When will this
We
speech
were
end?
very close to a deal. And then I got a
2026
call
or
from
2027?
Mr. Witkoff, Mr.
And
Kushner,
Warren on
and
X, I
JD
agree with you, sir.
saying, I think they're breaking the deal. I said, tell them that's okay. Don't worry about it. But tell them to look out their window and watch. And within 45 minutes, I gave the order to knock out the biggest bridge. I gave the order, knock out the biggest bridge in, I believe, the Middle East, but the biggest bridge
Did
in
you
Iran.
see the footage of that,
And
David?
within
Yeah, I've seen it.
10 minutes after I gave that order,
Wow.
that bridge was over. So do I want to do that? No. Do I want to destroy their infrastructure? No. It will take them 100 years to rebuild. Right now, if we left today, it would take them 20 years to rebuild their country, and it would never be as good as it was. And the only way they're going to be able to rebuild their country is to utilize the genius of the United States of America.
Yeah, there's another question.
You voiced your displeasure with NATO in the past. Is there a danger to the U.S. not being the de facto of the leader of the alliance, and then other powers within the alliance then getting
Nobody
the
cares about NATO.
decision-making when it comes to wars and nuclear
Yeah,
weapons?
no, it's not a danger. NATO's, look, we went to NATO.
Did you see the Times?
I didn't ask very strongly.
Calling
I
it
just
the
said,
North
"Hey, if you wanna
American
help, great."
Treaty
No, we
Organization,
will not.
not North
I said,
Atlantic.
It's all right. You don't want to help?
Like,
Because I've
bro,
always said
they
NATO's
got
a
writing
paper
for this
tiger.
fucking rag now.
See, NATO's a paper tiger. Putin's not afraid of NATO. Putin's afraid of us, very afraid of us. And he's explained it to me a lot of times. I got to know him very well. I know him very well. NATO's a paper tiger. NATO is us. And when we needed them, we didn't need them, by the way. We didn't need them, obviously, because they haven't helped at all. Just the opposite. They've actually gone out of their way not to help. They didn't even want to give us landing strips. Think of it. And it's not just NATO. You know who else didn't help us?
Just start
South
asking
Korea
about
didn't help
aliens
us.
while you're at
You know
it.
who else didn't help us? Australia didn't help us. You know who else didn't help us?
Yo, somebody
Japan.
needs to do that now.
We've got 50,000 soldiers in Japan to protect them from North Korea. We have 45,000 soldiers in South Korea to protect us from Kim Jong-un, who I get along with very well, as you know. Do you notice he said very nice things about me? He used to call Joe Biden a mentally retarded person. Okay? So don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was terrible. But to me, he likes Trump.
I'm so
And
done.
Notice how
I
nice
can't.
things are with
No.
North Korea. It's very nice. We have 45,000 people, soldiers, in harm's way, and right next to Kim Jong-un with a lot of
Oh,
nuclear
the clips
weapons.
of this are gonna be
45, which should have never
amazing.
happened. if a certain president, I'm not going to mention this president because I happen to like him, believe it or not, but if a certain president did his job, Kim Jong-un would not have nuclear weapons right now. But they were all afraid to do their job properly. But just to conclude and just to finish, Japan didn't help us, Australia didn't help us, South Korea didn't help us.
I can't believe you just said
And
that.
then you get to NATO. NATO didn't help us. There were some countries that did. Now, countries that have been good, now you could also say they're got to be a little bit more involved because they're in the territory. But Saudi Arabia has been excellent. Qatar has been excellent. UAE has been excellent. Bahrain, Kuwait. I mean, Kuwait did shoot down 3 of our planes. The only planes, really, that we lost with friendly fire, they call it. I call it unfriendly fire. They unfortunately didn't know how to use our great Patriots. The pilot said, "What kind of a missile's coming at us? Patriot." Boom, they got out.
Gentle Storm,
Because
I
they know
dared.
Patriot never misses.
I sent a message.
So they had beautiful
daring him to keep
Patriots.
talking. I
There
want
were
to see if he
planes
brings
heading in
up
their
something
direction.
like works in Gentle
Unfortunately,
Storm
they decided to shoot those planes. They were
into
our planes.
into his answers here. Let's see.
No, NATO is a paper tiger. Now, he's
Indeed.
coming to see me on Wednesday, as you know. He's a wonderful guy. Secretary General is great. And Mark Rutte, he's a great person, but he's got... And you know, it all began with, if you want to know the truth, Greenland. We want Greenland. They don't want to give it to us. And I said, bye-bye.
And my bingo card
Okay,
is
thank you
full
very
right
much,
now.
everybody.
That was by the way,
just
you
walks
guys are
away.
tuning the breakdown, episode 695. We are tuned in to give me a second. We were tuned in here to President Trump. President Trump was giving a speech here. Started at 1 p.m., just ended at 2:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It was supposed to be only for I think 20 to 30 minutes. But he took questions from everybody in every country. He said some things that I can't repeat on here because we'll absolutely get banned off of TikTok. The one on Joe Biden had me dying. I mean, the one on Joe Biden, he got me on Joe Biden, bro. I didn't expect that. I just didn't expect it. But welcome to everybody who's joining in. Again, the sponsor, the main title sponsor, Midnight. Shout out to Midnight. Also, Polymarket. Polymarket should have had a prediction up. You know, how long is this conference going to last? I would have probably went and threw a few shekels on that one. Cake Wallet, one of the most secure wallets on or within our industry. Shout out to Cake Wallet and also People's Reserve. Finally, you can go ahead and use your Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as collateral to go ahead and get yourself a home. Listen. Why is the press? I look at the press and I'm like, the press is asking him what is the United States going to do? What is the United States going to do? Like, yeah, I am the president of the United States of America, and I'm going to tell the press 90% of you guys dislike America. I'm going to just lay out the plan for you guys so you can run to Iran and all our enemies and let them know exactly what we're going to do. I am telling you right now, Trump. I see it in the chat. Shout out to Sakasa. Shout out to a lot of you guys coming in here. I gotta say, Trump 100% goes down as like one of the greatest presidents of all time. I don't care if you like him or not. I don't care if you like him or not. I feel like it goes down as one of the greatest of all time. That's it. Bottom line. This is the kind of attitude we need. Like somebody that will go in. He doesn't care. Doesn't care. He's about getting business done. That entire press conference right now, if you are a content creator, that entire press conference, you can get like 45 plus clips out of that and monetize like crazy. I can't believe what he said about. I'm still on the whole Biden thing right now. Can I even say it? Am I allowed to say it?
No, probably not. You end up restricted on literally every platform.
I'm already restricted.
Look, that was That was
I mean, so what's your takeaway, Lanny? Honestly, how do you see this from, you know,
well,
you have the news reporting it differently. Here comes Trump. He's telling you exactly, and I believe Trump over mainstream media. So like, here's Trump,
Yeah.
his entire administration. They're telling you exactly what's happening, what happened. Obviously, Trump goes into stories. We know that about Trump. Trump,
Yeah.
his hand motions, all we get it. What kind of effect do we see here on the markets? Because I haven't even checked the markets. What are the markets doing right now after this speech? Are we going up, down? And do you think that investors
markets
are
are
going to
great.
get a little bit more confident? And what are investors doing right now? Are they holding? Are they holding and waiting for the situation to be put away to finally go ahead and push in liquidity into the markets?
I so badly just want to repeat the story about the extraction again for Gentle Storm because he's heard it now like 5 or 6 times. He's like, I can't keep hearing it over and over. No, I'm not going to do it to you. But look, the market is adjusting to right now what has happened with the Strait. Now, I told you this very early on, and there's been some undercover investigations going on when it comes to the Strait, that there are still a lot of ships that are passing through transponders off, many more than are being reported through the open source platforms. But what the market is doing is the market is adjusting in real time to an energy crisis in Asia and Europe, right? China's actually okay because they have reserves, although they are starting to hit some of those reserves. Russia's okay. They've increased capacity in the past few years. But they're also having a little bit of a tough time with Ukraine attacking their energy infrastructure. And they only have so much that they can push over land to places like China. So what we're seeing is at its core, when you look globally, energy has been a hot topic for many, many years. And then there was, of course, the green agenda and the Green New Deal kind of stuff that is now coming back to bite Europe in the butt, right? So what we've seen as a result of the Strait effectively being closed, which primarily most need to understand that it's less about ships getting damaged or hit. It's more about the insurance costs and the lack of coverage. Now, many are looking at like, well, why aren't they just using DFC? Because you're not getting the property and indemnity clauses with DFC on purpose, because the United States will have to then cover you through the Strait at that point with an escort. And this is being used as a financial and political tool by the administration, DFC specifically, the insurance. Lloyd's is out of the game. They don't want to cover. They have covered some limited stuff. There is some hinky stuff going on with our supposed allies in NATO when you're looking at France and other countries that could have potentially been doing deals with Iran. We don't know yet. We'll find out more, I'm sure. But there is a global realignment happening in the energy sector, specifically when it comes to oil. Well, when you get this fractured energy market and now demand shifting to US based oil, you get that bid over top of Brent and even over top of the Middle Eastern oil, right? Because it can't move. A lot of it's still anchored. And even at an increased pace, turning transponders off, it's not like it's fully open, right? So it's still going to have an effect. That network effect, as it works its way through the global economy, we start to then see in Forex markets, otherwise known as your fiat markets, right? And what we're now seeing is that, in the weeks leading up, while oil was being pushed up, we saw that Dixie here in the United States was getting stronger versus other currency pairs or the basket of currencies that it's paired against. This then leads to globally markets heading down. But now the markets are adjusting in real time. And we saw trade out of gold into oil. And now we're seeing we saw then that trade move to a risk off trade. And now we're seeing a little bit of risk being added. what does that really tell us for markets? If we continue to see risk being added, that doesn't mean that we're out of the woods in terms of markets headed to the downside on longer term timeframes, but it does allow for a nice bounce off the lows and a nice recovery for traditional markets. And then of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other majors in crypto bouncing off of the local low side structures back to the high side of a tighter range. Now it's about, do we see more deals getting done in the coming weeks for energy? Do we start to see some movement through the straight? Because as soon as that happens, that bid that is holding prices higher for oil will start to evaporate. You'll start to see the short side come in and start to dominate. Prices will head down in terms of oil. That also means that Dixie's going to fall. You're going to see other pairs strengthen versus Dixie, and then we'll get some wider relief in markets. I think that here and lower, you're seeing a lot of bidders come in to start to pick certain spots in the markets on the way down, especially for traditional markets, because it is a downtrend and a very strong one at that. That you see that bidders are getting in tranches in certain areas, but hedging to bid lower as well, because we still have a pretty robust short, right? So when you're arbitraging between the highs and the lows, and you've been short and continuing to short those highs, we have a nice spread in markets. And it's not going to get squeezed until we see further sustained upside price action. What I will say is Bitcoin can break the downtrend above 69.3. Look at the relevant last higher low for all the majors. I think most are in downtrend break territory and coming off of higher lows. And in traditional markets, one of the big things for Dow, it swung its high, but it did not close above its last lower high. So it has the opportunity to try to break the downtrend on closes back above like 46.7, 46.8. NASDAQ is in an area where it's right up against a major weekly that it lost. It needs to recover above that 24 to 24.2 level to start to break the downtrend on the daily above around 24.4 to 24.5. And then SPY, same kind of look. It hasn't really, it hasn't gotten to that lower high that I need to see break. But, as if it's trading above the major weekly between a 10-point range at around 647 to 657, as long as we see above, 660, I think it can break the downtrend on the daily. But that doesn't mean the longer term downtrend is over. But it would be at least good for some local lows. And then we evaluate the most recent lows to see if they hold up upon any retests in a higher low or equal low fashion that could lead to a turnaround on a higher term time frame like a weekly. I think that markets are now figuring out that the world has changed and it's not going back to the way it was. It's not. And like many think that it's going to go, oh, it's just going to go back to the status quo. No, after this, it's not going to. I think we're going to continue to see the United States solidify power here in the Western Hemisphere. And specifically, you're going to see a lot of talk about Northwestern Hemisphere and Southwestern Hemisphere, meaning South America for everyone in the audience, where we already have some things, irons in the fire, let's say. And I think that that's going to be the focus when we see things start to begin to be wrapped up in the Middle East. And I don't believe that there is much longer to go. I said 4 to 6 weeks about 2 weeks ago. I think we're probably about 4 weeks away from the primary. It looks like the TikTok just ended. Looks like the primary bulk of the operations are likely going to take about 4 more weeks. That doesn't mean we're going to completely be out of the game over there. But I think that narratively speaking, and for the bulk of the military operations, I think it's going to wind down in the next 4 weeks. And then we see what happens from there. And I think markets are now starting to get that as I think we're actually only live in a few places because I don't know if X is live still. Is X live? Yes,
Well,
X is still
I got
live.
taken down. Hold on. Hateful speech. Hateful
great.
speech. From where? Hateful speech and hateful behavior. Because of Trump saying, because Trump said something.
Yeah, well, that's TikTok for you. But X is still going
Look at
strong.
it. Oh, you don't hear it.
No.
Hold on.
Is it playing him?
Hold on.
Joe Biden, a mentally retarded person. Okay? So don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was terrible. To me.
What does that have to do with us? We're reporting.
I'm sorry. Oh, that's yeah. Well, you know, that's TikTok for you. They'll allow other types of hateful speech towards certain groups of people, but they certainly don't like it when
No, I'm going to say that my live does not contain the content mentioned in the notice.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
or that was your.
It says it gives you 4 options. It gives you the notice is unclear. I'm still not sure why I got this restriction. You got my live does not contain the content mentioned in the notice, because it doesn't. This is nothing hateful. It's the president talking. TikTok should allow content like mine. I understand the decision, but the restriction is too strict. So like it's either that one or my live does not contain the content.
Well, I mean, it recorded the content. It just wasn't you saying it. So they're probably going to argue that no, your live stream did contain that content because he said it. I don't know how you even. I don't even know how you're supposed to respond to that if those are the options they're giving you. To be quite honest,
I'm not understanding the decision. Like, hold on.
It was the president speaking, is what you could say. Yeah, like I don't understand. It was the president speaking, not me. So I have no idea. That's wild TikTok that can't hear me anymore. But yeah, anyway, markets I think are waking up to the new reality, and we'll start to see money adjust. May is going to be right around the time period. When is Powell out? Jerome Powell. When is Powell out? Let me actually look here because I don't remember the exact date that he's done as chairman of the Fed. And then we're likely going to see heading into next month, you know, a lot of towards the end of this month, heading into next month, we're going to see a lot of talk about Warsh and the Fed. So let me just pull up the Fed site here. It's May. I believe it's like May. Is it like back half of May? It's like mid to back half of May. Give me a second here.
I submitted the appeal. I mean, like, what the fuck is that? What is that? We didn't say anything hateful. If the president, we are reporting live on news. If the president goes out here and says some shit like that, and yeah, I did laugh because like it's shocking because we've never heard a president stand up there and call somebody mentally R. Okay. What does that have? Like, so are you shutting down every other mainstream media network that was playing it? Did everybody get the violation, or is just are you picking and choosing? No wonder we had over 300 people
in the chat.
In there.
Yeah. Cheddar says, "Give TikTok."
And I guarantee you know who it was? It was a bunch of goddamn liberals with septum piercings that came in. Man, I'm infuriated. I'm about to get my own press conference.
Well, I think
Come on, this is bullshit, man. I thought an American company took over. What is happening here? This is what we were still on the Chinese algorithm, man. What is happening?
Oh, I think so. I don't think they actually did much with the algorithm. I think like there's only as soon as somebody reports something that they can like a gotcha like that, they automatically start taking down
Somebody
streams
clip
still.
this. Somebody clip. You know why? Because like they sent the clip, right? I don't think this
Yeah.
is TikTok. Somebody clipped you because you can clip when
Yeah.
you're live and sent it. So somebody who absolutely 100% got denied from working at IHOP, okay? So you could tell where that person's life is sitting at home clipping and sending shit in. Like this is this is absolute bullshit. As soon as I saw the live go off, I knew it. Because that's the only thing that is the only thing that you can go ahead and get me for. Which is it in?
Yeah.
You ain't get me. I am live streaming. We are live watching the president speak. So I expect if I am down, I expect the AP to be down, Reuters. I expect CNBC, Fox, every single body get the same treatment as us. Everybody should be getting the same. What? We're on delay too. Unfortunately, the delays don't work with him. I'm about to tag Trump.
Yeah, you know what? I have to say I thoroughly enjoyed the marathon speech that was given. And regardless of people getting salty about it and clipping it just to get the live stream taken down, that clip should just be reused and reposted everywhere. Send that clip to me.
Somebody
I'm
really
gonna
took the
repost it on my
time.
TikTok.
It's
That
crazy.
exact
Somebody
clip.
really took the time to like really. Fuck that. I'll play that again
I'm a
now.
mentally retarded person. Okay? So don't tell me about your stuff. Joe Biden, he said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was terrible. But to me, he likes Trump.
I'm so done.
How nice
can't.
things are with North Korea. It's very nice. We have 45,000 people, soldiers, in harm's way, and right next to.
Am I not supposed to laugh? Yeah, I'm gonna laugh. Absolutely. I'm going to laugh.
I'm still laughing about it. That's wild.
Did
That is
anybody
wild.
expect him to say that shit? I didn't.
He attributed it to somebody else, so he attributed it to Kim Jong Un, which is the context. I think is even funnier than what he said.
Oh my God, appeal not approved.
Yep. Of course not. It's an automated system.
Wow. So, yeah, 3 days.
Oh boy. Well,
3 days.
you can
Wow.
still upload pre-recorded videos, right?
I guess so, but that is.
I would do a
I gotta
pre-recorded
really
video,
send an
tell
email
everybody to come to
to.
X for the next couple of days.
But you know what? If somebody said that about Trump, it would stay on.
Exactly. Oh, for sure.
That is wow.
Yep.
That is
Absolutely.
honestly, that is bullshit, man. That is absolute 100% bullshit, man.
Well,
Wow. Wow. Oh, that is.
I know it's bullshit, but it's still funny. I can't not. I mean, it's frustrating that, and you're 100% correct. If that was said about Trump and it was somebody else saying it, I mean, they would be hailed. They would be promoted in the algorithm there.
This is such bullshit, man. This is
Yeah,
such bullshit, man.
Cheddar said, yeah, just make a post on TikTok. Tell them to come watch here on X for the next couple of days. The problem is like the X chat is broken when you're looking on a phone versus a computer, and then it's like different devices. It's still broken as hell. Like I can see some of the chat on my computer, and portions of the chat I can only see on my phone still. I don't know how X has not fixed this yet. Especially like you want to be the everything app. Like, well, how about you make some of the things that you already do good? Like, sorry, Elon, Nikita, you gotta fix stuff like this. This is the basics. Like chat where people on a computer or on an iPhone or an Android still can't see each other. Like why can I see portions of the chat on X that I can't see on the computer and vice versa? That makes no sense to me. That kind of stuff's got to be fixed.
I'm
Yeah,
right.
somebody just said like, oh, and they're looking to implement like what TikTok does with Spaces now. So you know how on TikTok you can do a live stream and you can pull people up from the chat. Well, they're gonna if they actually go through with that. I mean, Spaces barely work as it is anyway for those that still go to Spaces. Oh, Bits. Oh, Bits. By the way, shout out to Bits of Wealth for anybody that doesn't know him. He's a great analyst, good friend. Well, that's yeah, that's unfortunate. I can still see people shilling though in the chat on X. Why is that the only stuff that actually shows up? That's wild. That's wild stuff. But yeah, quite the press conference from the president today. I had fun listening to the press conference. I think that the majority of the audience also had fun listening to some of that.
I mean, this is absolute bullshit, though. Like, how do you go ahead? Yo, we live in America, man. We live in the United States of America. Listen, we stream all over the place, but this is absolute bullshit. And this is absolute bullshit.
I agree.
I mean, like, we are streaming the press conference. We have no control over the press conference. We have nobody, like, this is what I'm saying. Nobody can control Donald J. Trump. Do you think that's what was written for him to say? Like, do you think that was a talking point for him to talk about with a reporter? No.
What if it was? That'd be even funnier.
I love how people say, oh, but Israel. Right?
It was the Jews that made him say it, and they got you banned. You know what? It was the Jews. They got you kicked off TikTok.
The Jews.
Yeah,
the Jews the Jews.
It was Bibi.
Somehow Israel did this. As soon as it shut off, in my mind, when he said that, I knew if my live were to be shut off, it'd be due to that. It'd be fucking due to that.
At this point,
and I had nothing to do with it. For once, I had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna take me down because I laughed.
Maybe that's why. Maybe they've now. The Jewish guy laughed. He's not allowed to laugh. It's very serious over here. We cannot laugh at the actual president's press conference.
And they say Jews run the world. So should I go ahead and like send them messages and say
You need to
this
appeal
is
to the council.
anti-Semitic?
Yeah,
You're
you're appealing to the yeah.
I'm gonna appeal and say this is absolutely anti-Semitic. That I've been taken down. Like I feel like absolutely anti-Semitic. Like,
You need to take it.
anti-Semitism played a role in this.
Yeah, you need to respond to TikTok with that, and then you also need to call the Jewish Justice League and have them send a letter.
Nah, the ADL has me on an alt-right page. That's how bad that is.
You're on the outs with the ADL. You're
terrible.
You're a half-breed Jewish guy, so you can't get full representation.
Jesus Christ. I'm pissed off right now. I am pissed. You know, I could take listen, I could take it if it was me, right? If I said something, okay, fine. But and even then, I don't even say things that cross the line. I really don't. I don't believe I do.
Give them 10 days to surrender. Oh my God.
He said it's already 10 days, but I didn't want to do it on Easter. Like everybody's reporting on this. President Trump just revealed Kim Jong-un called Joe Biden retarded. How is this me? This is not even me. This is the president saying it. He used to call Joe Biden a mentally retarded person, okay? Joe Biden, he said he's not mentally retarded person. He said he's a mentally retarded person. He was so nasty to Joe Biden. It was terrible. But to me, he likes Trump. It's crazy, man. I just can't believe. By the way, the dark side of the moon. Yeah, hold on. The highest quality video of the moon was just released. Oh, it is beautiful, though. It is beautiful.
From the Artemis 2?
Yeah. Why do they have to put background music in it, man? Like, can we just observe it without the background music, man?
Can you pull it up on the stream here?
I'm scared. They might fucking delete my account for fucking showing the moon. You called Iranians crazy bastards. President Trump says true. What is your response to critics who say, I don't care what the critics say?
That's great. Yo, I'm sorry. I don't care what the critics say. Immediately talk about where you from? New York Times. Oh, the failing New York Times.
Midterms, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. CNN. This is they're reporting this. This is a 5-alarm fire for Democrats in swing states. CNN. Democrats are just simply put running behind their previous benchmarks. So again, we shall see what happens in when it comes midterms. I know a lot of people expect Democrats to win, but I don't know. I don't know if that's like a fucking 100%, alley-oop over there that people are making it out to be. So
I've talked about it a lot, David, for a couple months now. The Democrats are not in the strongest position, and they are not in a strong position coming into the midterms, unlike the picture that has been being painted.
Yeah.
The coalition behind Trump is not only strong and Trump candidates, but it's also becoming stronger. It's expanding, and a lot of people don't realize it, and that's okay. you know what? Let it sit in the background. Let them be surprised by it again. This is the problem with a lot of Democrats and Democrat voters is they underestimate things and they downplay it to make like they are in a strong position. And this is how, a lot of Democrats who voted for Kamala ended up being so shocked because they were just being lied to about the reality of what's happening. And I've gotten into arguments with people, obviously. People like to argue with me, online especially. But I've said, like, yeah, keep thinking that, but check the crosstabs. When you're looking at polling, you check the crosstabs. That's where the real information is. And Trump is not losing support amongst his base. It is coalescing and getting stronger. And this runs counter to the media optics and the media campaign to really try to break up that coalition. But yeah, I mean his endorsement means a lot. Means a lot.
All right. I want to cry. No, I don't want to cry. I do want to say this. I just want to fill you guys in. We are going to be streaming. We have the YouTube channel, which is called Gokshi News Network. A lot of things are going to be changing. Right now, though, we'll be streaming live on Gokhshtein TV, which is on YouTube. And there's a lot of things that are in the works. So I'll share that page. I will share that page so people can go ahead and subscribe to it, share it with friends. And for those who do want to watch us, listen, it might happen on YouTube also. I don't know if YouTube cuts people off. I don't know if they're as strict as I think TikTok is the most strict. I don't really care about the monetization aspect, Landy.
Yeah.
I know that from my time with YouTube, they will take down. They will demonetize you, but I haven't really experienced them taking down any content. So others have, but I'm just saying.
It's all about what can get you strikes. For taking down a channel, certain video content like can get you strikes depending on what the subject matter is.
Yeah.
And how it's presented. Like something like this today on YouTube would have been fine, right? Because it's not you that's saying
AP's playing it. So what do you give AP?
Yeah.
The AP, we got the content from the AP. We could have went with the White House. It doesn't matter. But that was streaming live we took it from the AP and was streaming it. And I'm sure they took it from the White House. So like at the end of the day, like I can't control it. Nobody can. He said it. You can't, just because I laughed doesn't mean anything. Yeah, I laughed. I can laugh. It's a funny moment. I mean, do I agree with what he said? I don't know. I mean, I thought it was funny. Okay?
It was funny because of the audacity, right?
The way it came out was just like out of nowhere, man.
Well, I mean, that was literally from YouTube, wasn't it? So yeah, they're not going to take down that kind of content.
It's not even you. I'm talking about TikTok. It's like
then
you have some. Of course, you got some motherfucking bitch sitting in TikTok. I'm telling you, this is homeless behavior. Nothing else to do. Clipping. That is not. I'm sorry. That is not. I don't think AI clipped that. That is literally somebody sitting in the chat, clips it, sends it. Like that's
yeah,
my
I think
feeling.
so. Yeah.
That's somebody who's butthurt because they voted for Biden and stuff. And here they are, like, just it's so whack, man. This is what I mean. We're never as a country going to come together if you're not going to allow for every side to go ahead and have a conversation. Like it's just not gonna happen. This is what the Democrats are running on. It's just like anybody who is not on the same page as us, we will make sure to make their lives miserable. It's just really fucking weird. It's really, really weird, man. But
yeah, it's
by the way, just want to say tune in to Tune in to Landy tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as he goes live with the market update to break down the markets. And maybe he'll talk about this subject as well. Hopefully he won't get banned. But you can go ahead and tune in. And again, for the 20 to 25 minutes, Landy will go ahead and break down the markets for you guys, tell you what to expect. Obviously, he broke some of the stuff down here today, but he will break down more, go more in depth on his show. So again, tune in 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Looking forward to that. And as always, Landy, I really do appreciate you coming on here today. You were probably the cause of me having my live stream taken down, but it's okay. I still appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you too. And I'm always available to help you get a live stream taken offline.
Thank you.
Anytime except tomorrow, because I do have, I will be doing some other things
Yes.
tomorrow. I'll be
So
around
we'll see you on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yep.
We'll
I'll
have
be
Landy
around
back
Wednesday.
on Wednesday, right in time for his Wednesday market update at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Guys, give Landy a follow on X, formerly known as Twitter, at CryptoLandy, and on Twitter, on TikTok, at Landy.btc, if his account is still up. Landy, as always, it was a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure, David. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to talking to you again on Wednesday. Take care of yourself.
Awesome. You too. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very disappointed because I really didn't do shit. It was Landy. And I'm gonna blame it on Landy. I should blame. I'm kidding. Anyway, welcome to the breakdown, episode 695. We're 5 episodes away from 700. It's a big deal. It is a big deal. 700 episodes. That's huge. Big, huge, big. That's what she said. Shout out to our sponsor, Midnight. Big shout out to Polymarket, Cake Wallet, People's Reserve. We got more people coming on. I won't say. A lot of things happening this month. Bitcoin conference. You got Consensus next month. You got a lot of things. I'm getting invited to a lot of other type of non-crypto related conferences. So that's cool. You can catch all the stuff that I'll be a part of on the website. So let me go ahead and let me showcase the website here. You guys haven't been on my website. You're doing it all wrong. If you guys, hold on, let me bring this up. Here it goes. You guys can go ahead and look at the new website. That's right, the new davidgokhshtein.com website. If you guys want to link up, you guys are looking, let's say you have a project. If you want to partner, by the way, a lot of people want to partner. If you want to partner with me, you just have to go here and let's see, click this. Will this work? God damn it, I got to get this to work. But you could just click. I'll fix it after the show's done. You just got to go ahead and click it. Click partner or here. You go down here. Where is it? Get in touch. You can be on the breakdown. If you guys are looking to be on the breakdown, if you have a project or if you're somebody who's notable, even non-notable, that knows about a particular subject that I'm looking to go ahead and have a conversation about, you can go ahead and click that. Command the stage. Book me as a speaker. There's so much. Sponsor the show, whether it's this show or the 2 shows that we have coming out. There's a lot. You can go ahead and contact us. DavidGokhshtein.com. Gokhshtein.com is coming back. We're coming back. That's right. We are coming back. Stronger and better, man. Stronger and better. It's going to be really dope. It's going to be really, really dope. A lot of work has been put into the motherfuckers. Really, a lot of work has been put into the motherfuckers. So can't wait to go ahead and go live with it. Might be going live with it at the end of the month. Maybe, who knows? Maybe it comes out during maybe April 15th. Maybe that's the day we go ahead and push out Gokhshtein.com. I don't know. By the way, if you're looking to broadcast, if you're looking to be seen, if If you're looking to be seen, again, you can go ahead and give me you can go ahead and contact me. You know how to contact me. You go right to this site. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn this off so I can go ahead and look at myself. Look at myself here. There we go. I'm back. By the way, I've been taken down by TikTok. Right now, I am appealing. We were live streaming President Trump at the White House, talking about everything that's happened over the weekend, everything going on in Iran. We are looking forward to him talking about the economy. Somewhere, the conversation deviated to Joe Biden, and he called Joe Biden the R word. And we played the conference just like every other, mainstream media network or indie network went ahead and played it. So if we were taken down, then I expect them to be taken down. Anyway, we'll be right back right after this commercial break. Again, show sponsored by Midnight, show sponsored by Cake Wallet, People's Reserve, Poly Market. We'll be right back.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. This is fucking crazy. Here I am, I'm talking and I'm muted. I'm muted and I'm giving a wonderful speech and I'm fucking muted. I'm fucking muted and it was a wonderful fucking take. So let me just break it down real quick. What I said was I wanted to touch on everything that's happening with X. It seems like crypto Twitter is out there being very vocal about feeling like Nikita is the head of product for X is taking out crypto Twitter. And let me say, crypto Twitter has played a fucking very important part in Twitter. And I gotta say, a lot of, yeah, you might not like a lot of people. Crypto Twitter, it's very toxic. It's one of the most toxic fucking algorithms that you can ever fall into. But there are a lot of people in crypto that are hella smart. 90%, I feel like almost 90% of crypto Twitter is super smart. They give really good takes. Why destroy something that has absolutely thrived? I don't know. And I'm going to sit back and watch because you know what? I don't know if that's the case, but we shall see. And yeah, the most popular accounts here that get the most light, it's all political right now. Everything's all political right now. So those are the things that are getting more of the spotlight. You get more likes by putting out shit that's rage baitable, if that's even a word. But the rage baiting that's being put out there by accounts, like you can see, Brian and Ed, who put out a tweet saying that there's speculation that Trump's in the hospital. That got 11 million views. It's stuff like that that most people are in tune with things like that. They're not really. Look, in 2011, you were probably playing Clash of Clans. Right? You were probably playing Clash of Clans and spending money on resources to build your kingdom. In 2011, you could have bought Bitcoin for nothing. Now you sit back, if you sit now and you think about it, you would have said, oh shit, I wish I would have. I'm just saying, crypto Twitter has played a phenomenal part in Twitter's growth. And the people, and I really do believe this, the people within crypto Twitter, most people are very intelligent, very forward thinking, looking to build, looking to elevate their own brands. I think it's just unfair, but this is where I said while I was muted, if you're a content creator, if you're a media personality, you need to expand your brand. You can't just be on X Twitter when the algorithm switches up. You need to be on YouTube, you need to be on Rumble, you need to be on Kick, you need to be on TikTok, Getter, like all these platforms, Truth Social, Threads, you need to be out there. Because you just don't know. You just don't know. I've been with Twitter since 2010. I don't know if I wake up tomorrow and my account is gone. And then what? If your account is gone, now what? Now what are you doing? Where's your audience going? Where are they going to find you? Where are they going to find you? Where's your website? Have you done everything to make sure that your audience that follows you finds you? Because that's the situation that you're in. That's the situation that you're in. But I hope they make it better for crypto Twitter. Crypto Twitter deserves it. It's been a loyal audience for Twitter. It has been an absolutely loyal audience for Twitter. Forget about the bots, man. The bots that reply to, I saw the messages that he was putting out there. Forget about the bots that reply to every tweet. I mean, okay, we can't stop that. There are plenty of bots that come on and reply to political tweets too. I don't think Twitter or X should punish crypto and the crypto community for all the spamming that's going on. I think it's wrong. I really think it's wrong. Especially that, crypto individuals are not just solely about crypto, and they're intelligent about politics. They got takes on other things, pop culture, all that good stuff. AI now, right? AI is a big thing. My company has absolutely developed a department for AI, and it's a great thing. And we will offer services to help your company get up on its feet with AI. So I'm just saying, if this is supposed to be the town hall for talk, for freedom of speech, man, let it be. Let it be. But again, I'll sit back for the next week or two and assess. I mean, there have been people who are saying that in the last week or two that the algorithm is kind of choppy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But again, like I will not be stuck on one. That is a mistake that one can make. Is being stuck on one platform. You can't be Instagram. You got to be Facebooking it. Yeah, if you got to talk to relatives, you got to talk to relatives. It is what it is. Welcome to the breakdown, though. We're an hour and 12 minutes past. This show has been sponsored by the title sponsor, Midnight. Shout out to Midnight. Charles has been on here. He's been going and throwing hands at everybody. And I still can't believe the Cardano community does not understand that Midnight helps Cardano. Midnight will help Cardano get the visibility it deserves. And by the way, as somebody who holds ADA, I want to tell you something. Some of you guys have been the problem. You guys have been the problem. You've stopped ADA from growing. You stopped Cardano from growing. That's my personal take. I believe and always believe that Cardano is a great ecosystem. I think Charles has built something absolutely great. I think you guys have stopped it from growing because everybody wants to go ahead and have their voice heard. And everybody has, some of these people that I've talked to within the Cardano ecosystem, you guys have a fucking ego. God bless you, man. Bigger than Trump's. So you guys have stopped it from growing. So here you have Midnight. Charles creates Midnight, and people are noticing Midnight, and people understand that privacy is a big, big, big issue. And I believe that Midnight is going to help. It helps Cardano. It's not bleeding Cardano out. It's helping Cardano expand and get noticed. So I don't know. Those are my takes, man. Those are my takes. Shout out again to Polymarket. I want to look on Polymarket and see what is the latest on the midterms, because like right now, like CNN came out with a poll stating that it's not looking so great for the Democrats at this current point in time. I want to go on Polymarket and check that out. Cake Wallet, shout out to Cake Wallet, secure wallet, one of the most secure wallets in this space. So shout out to Cake Wallet. Go check out Cake Pay as well. That's a cool feature that Cake Wallet has. People's Reserve, we already know. I already talked about People's Reserve. Use your Bitcoin as collateral. Go get yourself a house. That's the way to go ahead and do things. A lot of people are like, don't use Bitcoin as collateral. You gotta use Bitcoin. Listen, do whatever you want with your money, but I'm not your financial advisor. But at the end of the day, man, like a lot of people are selling their Bitcoin in order to purchase a house. What if you can keep your Bitcoin and still get your house? Think about that. It is 3:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Maybe I should play those numbers, but I don't play the lottery. Anyway, 3:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At this point in time, I don't know if you guys see me or not. I don't know if this shit is breaking up, but at this point, yes, TikTok, I'm appealing that. Really weird playing Trump's press conference, and we get a strike for playing his. That is just weird. It is weird. I expect Fox. I expect every single mainstream media company and reporter and journalist to be treated the same way, 100%. Left, right, in the middle, it doesn't matter. Like I am going to make a fucking scene out of that. I'll be back tomorrow. Episode 696, sponsored by Midnight. Also sponsored by Polymarket, Cake Wallet, and the People's Reserve. On that note, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I'm out.